country, loyalty to our Constitution, and my unwavering faith in the American people.
Donald Trump stepped on my tail. I love her so much. Okay, that was the Vice President of the United States. Oh, hey, we had a feces-free certification of the votes yesterday on January 6th. Isn't that weird? It's a new thing we're trying. Feces-free, a poo-free.
But according to Donald and his ilk, they are making the transfer of power not peaceful at all.
Right, because the gaslighting has begun even before he's in. He said Joe Biden is, what did he say? He's been
obstructing and
the
Larry
peaceful
Trump said that they're
transfer
not being smooth or peaceful.
Power.
It's just...
Wow, you know it's bad when you'd rather hear Larry Trump sing. Yeah, here she is, 17.
Oh, all right.
Could you just get back on the fire escape and sing?
They lied when they said they wanted a smooth and peaceful transition.
What?
That was a lie, because what they're doing, throwing everything in Donald Trump's way, trying to thwart the will of the American people and the mandate they sent out on November 5th is absolutely disgraceful, but it is the only thing the Democrats know how to do.
Huh?
What? Have we always been at war with East Asia?
What? Because is she referring to the fact that the flags are going to be at half?
No, she's referring to the fact that he is a multiple felon
and he's going to have to be sentenced this week. Well, and remember, they weren't getting the proper clearances for their transition team?
Because of the crimes that he's already committed.
Right.
That also he's not going to see any consequences for because, something. Okay. Hi, good morning. Should we open every morning with that good morning, good morning?
No, unless you know how to do the steps, turn the chair upside down.
Okay, can I say, I'm sure everybody has seen this clip by now. That's why I'm wearing my Kamala Harris t-shirt. We, up mightily, America, cannot believe we could have had a President Kamala Harris. But did you see you saw the clip? Deb Fisher, she's the congressman or senator, I think.
Yeah.
So Kamala Harris, as she does, as her constitutional duty is, swore her in, shook her hand. Her stupid of a husband,
butthole of a husband,
yes, refuses to shake the sitting vice president's hand, and Vice President Harris. I mean, the look on her face. I don't know how she has the composure and the right. This racist, sexist douchebag looks at her like, "Oh, don't get your blackety black on me." Oh my God, that sums up everything about this party right now. From Donald Trump on down, they're just stupid and mean and classless. Oh my God, and it's on camera. This is the swearing in of his wife, and Kamala Harris very graciously just sticks her hand, and he just literally won't even make eye contact with her.
He's still looking at the Bible or whatever it was he was looking at.
Is this partisan still, Chris? Is this just not people acting like a bag of D's? I mean, have a tiny bit of class, for God's sakes.
No, the Republican Party has become the party of trolls now. That's all they are.
Oh, by the way.
What?
There's still people that give us faith. Can I have some sexy liberal music? Well, this is... like nobody gets back to you over the holidays, and now a fusillade of yeses for sexy liberal.
Oh my God, you got the word right.
I know. It's a whole new year.
Did you study that over the holidays?
No, it was totally
fusillade and fuselage.
No, it was totally an accident.
Wow,
that's weird.
I'm like, okay, it's a new day.
Should we?
No.
Open with the
because
Black Eyed Peas song.
No, because that's an awful song.
I've always wanted.
It's an awful song.
All right, never mind. I'm still contemplating. I'm not ready to make nice, but I'm sticking with fighter for now. I'm a Libra. I'm going to change my mind. Okay. Wow. I don't even know. Because this all just happened.
It all just happened.
Amazing producer booker Jody Hamilton and our associate cub booker JoJo from Jers.
Yeah, she knows people.
Yes. So, January 18th, the final. It is the finale of Sexy Liberal at the Warner Theater in D.C. Also available pay-per-view. So, JoJo from Jers just added Olivia Troy.
Yes.
George Conway.
Yes.
Harry Dunn. Am I missing anybody? Hang on.
Half of those are Republicans.
I know. Well, it used to be.
Have they both quit the party?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I don't think they've quit the party.
All right. Well, that's a first then at Sexy Liberal. But
okay.
All right. So we have a bunch of offers out. I think it's going to be one of those like extravaganza panels.
Yeah.
And we're going to need it. It is the official start of Resistance 2.0. Very excited. Did I miss anyone? We got all those bookings just this morning.
Yeah.
Didn't she help us get Dave Foley for New York?
Yes,
Sexy Liberal?
yes. Dave Foley just wandered on stage in New York Sexy Liberal because he came with her.
It's a kid in the hall.
Right. He was in the hall.
He
and
was
then
in the
came
hall, and they brought him back out.
Yeah, for the curtain call, he came out and did some material. I was like, wait, is that Dave? Hang on. Yeah, all right. So there you go. SexyLiberal.com. Get it. And the pay-per-view is like $20.
It is.
And it supports this whole... What? What?
Should we bring it to 2025
Should we add a penny?
I suppose. That'll add up. All right. So, we have it's gonna be an amazing panel, an amazing show. Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't wait to talk about that douchebag. It is just, I feel like it sums up everything you need to know about this party. How just selfish and stupid and sexist and racist they are.
And that's why you're hightailing it out of there the morning after.
Oh, right.
You don't want to be in D.C. any longer than you have to.
Goose on laxatives.
Yeah.
I will. I'm first flight out. I'm like in what do you call that? A Few Good Men. I'm like, is there an earlier flight? Is there an earlier flight than 0600?
Is there what's the midnight flight out? So as soon as you're done,
is there a red eye?
Get off to the airport.
Get rocket skates right next to the stage. I'm off the stage and I am out.
Do you have to get out to Dulles for a 6 a.m. flight?
No, I usually do, what do you call
Reagan?
it?
Reagan, okay.
Yeah. And I want to, and my big sister Mary and I are going to go see my mom and dad's grave because the inscription for my mom is done now.
Good.
So, yeah. So it'll be a big, and People's March, it's going to be a big weekend for the resistance.
They
by
just
the
got
way,
some snow.
speaking of my sister.
A little.
Yeah.
Oh, first of all, Paula Poundstone loved the reading of her email.
Okay, good.
That I love that she always signs with her full name. She sent me another email signed with her as if they could be from anyone else.
That's how I introduced my brother. Have you met my brother, John Hamilton?
Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh, that was I forgot another fun party moment. So my sister, Mary, who's like my superhero, she speaks several languages and she was a big, huge progressive activist in North Carolina. She's fantastic.
How many languages do you speak?
Barely one.
Barely English, obviously, as a fusillade of evidence would tell you. But so she was speaking German to my friend Steve's father at the party, and Paula Poundstone was standing there. She turned to my friend Karen and she goes, "Wow, it's not every day you hear people speaking German at a party in Hollywood." Oh. And I was like, "Hey, if President Musk, who's prone to compliment far-right parties in Germany, has anything to do with it, well, I'll need to speak German soon." Mm-hmm. So my sister's going to come in handy. That'd be great. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? Okay. So, this is, you know what? We're having a hot streak already. Can you feel it? In 2025, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse was booked for today. They called us.
Yeah.
They said he loves watching our clips on YouTube.
Yeah.
I love Senator Whitehouse so much.
On the Political Voices Network YouTube page.
Mm-hmm. I know, that's all the rage now.
It is.
Yes.
Well, we also have a live stream on the Political Voices Network YouTube page.
Yeah. I was like, wow, should I gussy up and lose the baseball cap? I'm like, no, I don't have time for that.
Got to run a comb through your hair every morning? No.
This is what it is.
Yes.
Hiya, YouTube. But anyway, oh my God, I was so honored. He is unfortunately going to have to reschedule. He's in the air. He's traveling this morning. But oh my God,
he's a senator.
I was talking about democracy warriors, Senator Whitehouse, so fantastic on the Supreme Court, and other. Which by the way, hang on. Let's start with the Roberts. Who said Christopher?
Okay.
She has no more confidence in you in 2025 than she did in 2024.
Oh, why not?
The Roberts Court struck a terrible blow against democracy in 2024. They blocked any plausible enforcement or serious interpretation of the 14th Amendment, Section 3, which disqualifies from public office former office holders who have sworn an oath to the Constitution. Who said that?
The 5 Bear Rugs.
No, Representative Jamie Raskin, who is a former star of Stage 3 and Sexy Liberal D.C., and we're waiting to hear Representative Raskin's office.
Hello.
It's Night of 1,000 Stars in D.C. Join us. All right. Yeah, I mean, it is incredible. It is hard to digest yesterday being January 6th and that this mother was not arrested the day after and detained. And I'm sorry, Barb McQuaid is wrong, Jody. I don't care what you say. You know who else thinks Merrick Garland was a mistake? People in the Justice Department. he better release those Jack Smith reports, or I tell you, Allison Gill's on my side if he doesn't release the reports.
Oh no, she posted last night about it. She's ready.
Yeah, because of course Trump's lawyers are trying to sue. They're trying to do anything they can to stop.
Yes.
Yeah, why do you think that is? Because it's absolutely damning. They have to release it. It belongs to us. A, it's a taxpayer report. B, we have to do this before history and truth and facts get erased.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. I love the Trump's lawyers are, you know what? Just hand it on over to Trump's Justice Department. We'll take. There's a light broken on this report. We'll take care of it.
They're claiming there's stuff that's discredited in the report. They haven't even read the report yet, so what do they know?
And he wasn't. His appointment was not. His appointment was perfectly valid. They could not wait for the stupid Bob Hur report out to use it in the campaign about and that was. That was an obviously politically motivated report with opinions like, Biden's an elderly, blah, blah, blah. And so now they're saying that somehow, so his appointment was fine. But Jack Smith, who was appointed under the same statute, is illegitimate somehow? Of course not. But anyway, you better. It seriously is a way to salvage his whole attorney generaldom. Is that a word?
No, not at all.
Attorney generaldom? No.
Yeah. Well, you didn't expect a fusillade of right, did you?
No, I did not.
Now she won't get rid of the
No, but it's a one way to save, at least for posterity, the actual truth of what happened. January. And by the way, they're fighting hardest, of course, on the classified documents thing, because what a traitor he is. Mm-hmm. Of course he wants to stop that one in particular, but I think he turns that one in today or something by Jack Smith, the classified docs.
Something like that this afternoon.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe we'll get Senator Whitehouse tomorrow. We'll see when we reschedule.
When he lands.
Yes. Tell him to call me the second he lands. Tell him to give me a land safe text. Oh, by the way, I forgot I have other news about Sexy Liberal. JoJo from Jurors and I are going to get married on stage. Just for the pictures and video and publicity. And then we will immediately, we're going to have obligatory marital sex, and then we're going to get it annulled and go get blasted. But just saying.
I don't think
I asked her and she said yes.
I don't think any of that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Not a single word of that.
We're going to have a little like Britney Spears marriage.
No.
She's straight, but listen, you know what? True love knows no impediments.
Do you know how much money it takes to get a marriage annulled?
Oh, well. Well, you know what? We'll do a GoFundMe. This is America. All right.
Yeah. Do you want it annulled or a divorce? Because if you want to be a nice Catholic girl, it has to get annulled.
I asked in pure love for JoJo to marry me, and then she asked for something very specific and filthy in return, which I, of course, said yes to.
Are you turning her?
I don't know. We'll see in D.C.
She's the right age.
Late in life. Late in life. Lady.
Wouldn't be your first time.
That has been said before.
Yes, it has.
She's not gay. Well, she hasn't met Steph yet. Wow. All right. We have a big show. Charlie Pierce and Frankie Figs is here, eh?
Yeah.
Frankie Figs. Not to talk about Luigi Mangione, but other stuff.
We have a lot of stuff to talk to him about.
By the way, there was an Italian woman with a great sense of humor that would like me to read her birthday in the same voice as Luigi Mangione. She has a sense of humor about...
That song again?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Frankie Figs coming up. A lot of stuff to talk about. Hi, Dom. Okay, 20...
Break.
All right, I'm late. 20 minutes after the hour. Good morning, Rude. Happy Rude New Year to you.
Good morning. I've got my buffalo horn hat all ready to go. I'm ready to head to D.C. if I get the word. I'm ready. I've got a crap locked and loaded for Mike Johnson's desk. Come on, let's do this.
All right. I knew that you would go right to the poo jokes before I could get there. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. No, I was because I know you're from New Orleans, and so and most people did assume that you would be out partying still at drunk on Hurricane Punch at 3:15 in the morning, but you were not.
I was there, but I was on the opposite side of the quarter. I was on Frenchmen Street, and because of how hard we hit it early, I was in bed by 3:15.
Okay.
It really was a shame. It really was, generally
me too.
I would feel ashamed by that. But
yeah, me too. But we mean in the afternoon. We're all in bed by 3.
Oh God,
yeah. But it was very strange.
Yeah.
It was also strange when the fact that so many people immediately jumped to assume it was a MAGA.
Excuse me, so many people? Trump, right?
Well,
based
no,
on
it was
on
it was a MAGA, and not an immigrant, a MAGA.
No, right, that's what I mean. But I mean, obviously it was based on a faulty Fox News report that this guy, it's all about. I told you, the media, and Biden about the illegal immigration. He shoots his. This is what it's going to be like for 4 years, where he shoots his big mouth off before any information is in. It's based on a lie on Fox News, of course, right?
Yeah.
And
all policy will be made around the lies,
that's right,
rather than reality.
Yeah. I mean, and this one, the other, what do you call it, in Las Vegas, Republicans against Trump said, remember all the MAGA conspiracy theories about the Cybertruck explosion outside the Trump Hotel? We've now learned Matthew Leivelsberger, is that his name, the driver of the Tesla Cybertruck, was an American citizen, a highly decorated Army vet who was a big supporter of Trump and Musk. He believed Democrats should be culled from Washington by violence if necessary, and hoped his own death would mark the start of a national rebirth of masculinity, led by Trump, Musk, and RFK Jr. I can't wait to find out MAGA's new conspiracy theory about the incident. I mean, it doesn't matter. The minute there's facts in, they just draw off to something else. You're right.
Yeah. And if have you read his whole couple of statements that he left?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a combination of Fox News talking points.
Thank you.
And a Steve Bannon monologue. It's exactly what they say on Twitter all the time.
Yeah. I mean, this is the story. I opened the show, Rude, saying that the mainstream media just is too, and now even more than ever, is more too scared to the two Trump assassination attempt. They're maggots. They're not Democrats. I mean, but this is what's going to happen once Trump's in. They're going to say everything. They're just going to lie and say everything is left-wing violence. When here we are again, 90-something% of this is right-wing violence, right?
Yeah, and we get we get billionaires buying up media and gutting them, like what's happening at the Washington Post right now, what's happening at the LA Times.
Yeah.
We're getting it's going to be down to the New York Times and the occasional reporter at the Wall Street Journal that gets to do a real article.
Yeah. Well, this is our hero of democracy. Stealing that from Bob Seska. Whoever gets the jingle first owns it. Okay. But what is her name, Rude? Ann Tanas? Am I saying that right? Tensis? God bless her. Washington Post editorial cartoonist who has been with the newspaper for 16 years, just quit her job after the cartoon below, which depicts Post owner Jeff Bezos and other CEOs bowing to Donald Trump, was spiked. And it's another huge blow to the credibility of the once great newspaper. I mean...
Yeah. And I love the editor saying, well, no, the reason why we did it wasn't the content. It's because we'd already talked about that. And I'm like, have you read a newspaper? You talk about the same things all the time.
Yeah.
When did repetition become a problem?
And so the Vegas guy, he left behind 2 messages critical of Democrats and American culture. He had sought mental health treatment for the Department of Veterans Affairs, was found not to have been homicidal or suicidal.
Stephanie Miller. Stephanie Miller.
Oh, yeah. What? Yeah. I'm just finishing up writing my vows for me and JoJo from Jers. who I will marry on stage, a sexy liberal DC, January 18th. What? I'm just spitballing. I promise to love, honor, and never Lindy Lee you.
Oh! Wow, you went there.
That's a joke. Okay. She, who is currently on Fox News, Democrat bashing, and Kamala Harris and Joe Biden bashing. Okay. In a totally unrelated story, Chris, as you mentioned yesterday, Tammy Bruce.
Oh, that one.
Noted Fox News.
We know who she is.
Did you see, they love their useful idiots on Fox News.
Yeah.
Can I just say, so Trump named her something, I don't know.
State Department spokesperson.
Okay, right.
Exactly.
Tammy's a highly respected political analyst who understood the power and importance of MAGA early on. Okay, she's a gay woman and a Democrat, initially, from out here in California. Chris and I worked with her.
Yep.
As Frangela says, there are biscuit makers of every kind, every size, shape, and color.
As soon as she started wearing pastels, I knew she'd crossed over to the other side.
Oh, my God. She received her bachelor's degree in political science at the University of Southern California. Oh, God, must you sully my alma mater at the same time? And after being a liberal activist in the 1990s, she saw the lies and fraud of the radical left and quickly became one of the strongest conservative voices in the media and television.
No, she saw who paid more.
Yeah, exactly. But that's their favorite. Is, Democrats or former Democrats who will do their talking points, right? About, by the way, an unrelated story about California. We've just, over the holidays, replaced Germany as the 4th largest economy in the world.
Yep.
Christopher Webb posts, MAGA is going to love this. California is projected to have a budget surplus this year. Governor Newsom plans to boost savings, fund legal battles against Trump, skip pending spending cuts, all the while keeping programs like free pre-K on track, a solid boost for the resistance. Wow. Aren't we told every day what a burning hellscape California is?
Yes, it is, apparently.
We're a windy hellscape today.
We're very windy through Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be bad.
The National Weather Service put out a notice that we should stay away from windows.
Really?
It's going to be that windy.
Really?
Yes.
Do we have that color-coded Homeland Security thing? Do we know what color it is? Are we going to go back to having colors?
That was a little concerning when we got that notice yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, if there's wind in my backyard, I know it's like Chicago out a block from me.
Wow. It's going to be like NEM kind of wind.
Oh, yeah. In a wind.
I need to strap down both Totos.
Yeah.
No, they'll go flying away. They will.
I'm going to ride my bike and hear that music.
Do you have a basket for your bicycle?
Yes, I do have a basket.
Then you can put the doggies
I can
in the
put biscuits in the basket.
You remind me of Miss Gulch.
Shut up.
Do you want to inspire change and be a lead supporter for independent media? Now you can. Frontline funders are viewers just like you, who step up with a $1,000 contribution towards our Pledge Drive matching fund. As a Frontline funder, you inspire thousands of viewers to give during Pledge Drive by amplifying the impact of every donation. Are you the leader we're looking for? If you're interested in making an impact or have any questions, please call us at 303-542-4819. Thank you.
Right now, there's a movement in far-right and Christian nationalist circles to convince the wider society that trans people aren't real. This ideological detransition movement argues that the trans community is essentially a group of confused cis people, and that over time, they will revert to their gender assigned at birth. For proof, these extremists cite cases of people who they claim have detransitioned. Now, for many reasons, trans people do decide to pause, restart, or rework the process of becoming themselves. But we're not talking about that. These harmful arguments about detransitioners enter popular culture through voices like comedian Bill Maher. They also find amplification in state houses across the country to justify anti-trans bills like the hundreds introduced so far this year. But since trans people claim the opposite, that we are real, how do we arrive here? In 2015, after same-sex marriage was federally legalized, Christian nationalist leaders shifted their focus to anti-trans attacks. Knowing religious arguments wouldn't hold, strategists reused the anti-gay playbook of previous decades, focusing on spreading fear, misinformation, and stoking concerns about social contagion and how it causes harm to children. First, organizations like the Heritage Foundation platform secular, pseudoscientific, and anti-trans groups like the American College of Pediatricians to establish an air of credibility. However, the ACPED is 100 times smaller than the American Academy of Pediatrics, a more mainstream medical organization that affirms trans kids. Secondly, anti-trans powerhouse organizations like Heritage and the American College of Pediatricians formed an unholy alliance with anti-trans activists, often called trans exclusionary radical feminists, who have their own obscure organizations like WOLF. Through teaming up with activists who consider themselves feminists and progressives, right-wing groups were able to spread anti-trans propaganda into even moderate and liberal communities. Together, Christian nationalists and TERFs grow their ideology through discovering and elevating the stories of people that they can label detransitioners. They search internet chat rooms and social media to uncover their identity. Then they befriend them and elevate such vulnerable people into various stages. These so-called detransitioners are then recruited to become spokespeople and are told that speaking out affirms their cis identity and erases any gender-based confusion. But this campaign to spread disinformation is dangerous. They've created a culture of fear and moral panic, putting trans lives at further risk both in state legislatures and communities across the country. By shedding light on this problem, we can stop the damage being done. Share this story and find out more about this by listening to our podcast, The Anti-Trans Hate Machine, A Plot Against Equality.
COVID-19 has hit our community real hard.
We're dying from coronavirus at almost double the national rate.
If we come together, we have the power to save what matters to us, our Black lives.
There's power in protecting your loved ones.
There's power in wearing a mask and social distancing.
There's power in knowing the facts and using your voice.
Let's fight COVID-19. Visit bethepowerofus.org.
Hi, I'm Jasmine. I'm with One Hood, and you're watching Free Speech TV.
As we have seen, our democracy can be fragile, and it is up to then each one of us to stand up for our most cherished principles and to make sure that in America, our government always remains of the people, by the people, and for the people. May God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Oh, look, she can say that without lisping or her dentures falling out, unlike
God bless
some people.
the United States.
Okay. Okay, I have a favorite meme of the day. MAGA definition: cult of brainwashed people who now think that good people are bad, evil people are cool, lies are true, science is fake, magic is real, abusing those weaker than you is strength, love is weak, hate is power. You know, Chris, the arc of the moral universe is
bendy.
It's very bendy.
Right, like a Cirque du Soleil performer.
Right.
But it always bends towards
justice.
Sure.
All right, see, I got there eventually.
I think it's long and then it bends towards justice.
It's long.
Right, that's what I said.
Yeah.
It's long and bendy.
It has length and girth.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
Oh. All right. Love letters rolling in. Tom says, welcome back. What a relief, pleasure, joy to hear your first show of the year. Welcome back. I miss my Stephanie Miller family when they're gone as much as I miss my own family members, the ones I like anyway. Thank you, Tom. Thank you. Think of us as your family members, the ones you like, not the other ones. We all have that family. Okay. In fact, Larry, we welcome Larry. He posted, I disagree with Stephanie Miller on politics and stuff, but I do like listening to her show. Hi, Larry. Thank you. We can all agree on the fart jokes and the D jokes, can't we?
Sure.
We can't have nice things. Okay. What? Oh.
Nothing.
Oh. Sorry, you were looking at me with alarm.
She doesn't want you to look at her, and then she wants you to look at her.
I'm looking at you for cues.
Exactly.
That's what I do
He has to stare at you.
I obviously don't know what I'm doing next. How would you know?
I don't know.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Are you looking to me for some sort of leadership?
You're going to call third base or something at
Your
some
name's on the show.
All right, well, steal third then while I'm over here talking to Karen in Chicago. Hello, Karen in Chicago. I have a big booking this week on True Blue Politics with Karen and Anita.
All right.
Yes. Yes, we will. Yes, I think it's going to be a fun conversation. It's usually very relaxed. Jody can attest to that, I think. So yeah, but I'm nervous.
Jody's always
Stephanie.
relaxed. Jody's like a boneless cat. She's always relaxed.
We were on the Zoom call last night, and I told everybody about it, and I was like, but you know what? I'm nervous. I mean, yes, I call into the show every day, but I'm nervous.
Wow, yes, interviewing a radio titan of my stature.
My basement.
Yes.
Yes. No, we're very grateful and excited.
Me too.
So, no, but what I want to say, I'm just thinking about Republicans and what we saw in the last 4 years, right? They had one hearing after the other that was completely baseless. But what they do, and we always talk about Republican messaging versus Democratic messaging, and I would offer up that is a part of their messaging. When they do that stuff, that is a part of their messaging. And so I think that going forward, and since you have Democratic leadership who listen to your show, I would offer up that we have got to get on the record for everything. So, if they had brought up, the 14th Amendment, Section 3, would it have gone anywhere? Likely not. They could have stood up and said, according to, but educate and make the news, get that out there. That is a part of messaging.
I don't know what,
that I think Democrats tend to shy away from.
Everybody's saying, this Peter Baker article I quoted from, you got all those wrong. The Peter Baker article in the New York Times, but he was one of the, both sides do it Biden bashers, like everybody else at the Times and the Post and everywhere else, Karen. And now a warning, now writes this whole piece of how
a warning,
how great everything is, and the amazing economy that Biden is handing Trump, but blah blah blah. It is just crazy making.
Yep.
All right. Trump's legal team mounting a full court press to prevent him from being sentenced. This would be this Friday. Trump is making a one last ditch effort to stop the proceeding. First of all, they're asking Judge Murray. He's the one that scheduled it. He's not going to delay it. But so Trump's lawyers disclosed in the filing they plan to escalate their effort if the judge does not pause the sentencing by, that was like 2 p.m. yesterday, I guess. So, of course, threatening. That's one of their legal steps they always take, threatening the judge. He said Mr. Trump will seek an emergency appellate review. I have no clue. Barb McQuaid yesterday didn't think any of this is going to succeed. I believe we will be inaugurating a convicted felon. Yeah. The moment he gets sentenced, he is a convicted felon. This is why it's important to get things on the record before they try to erase and rewrite history, right? Hoping to persuade a New York appeals court to intervene, Trump's lawyers plan to file a civil action against Judge Merchan and seek to freeze the sentencing. I mean, the problem is so much is unprecedented in this Trump era that I mean, legal analysis has become practically useless because you're like, wait, is that legal? Could they? Because it's just stuff that's never happened before, right? All the way up to the Supreme Court immunity ruling. So, Trump's lawyers asking Merrick Garland to block the DOJ's, because, of course, release of Jack Smith's final report, claiming it contains false and discredited accusations. Well, how do they know? It hasn't been released. Right. But this is just how they go ahead of everything. Fake news, hoax, witch hunt, blah, blah. They said, first, Smith lacks the authority under our Constitution. No. To issue a report, he was not validly appointed. No. As I said earlier, but Bob Hur was. I'm sorry, the reports that you think are good for you politically, those are all fine. It's so ridiculous. There's no legal basis for this. Look at me screaming. It's going to be me screaming into the wind for 4 years. Oh, good. The release of the report would violate the Presidential Transition Act and the Presidential Immunity Doctrine. No, nothing to do with either of those. If Smith is not removed, then the handling of this report should be deferred to President Trump's incoming Attorney General. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I'm sure that will go the way of the Brett Kavanaugh tips. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. All right. As I said earlier, I have been off the Merrick Garland, defending Merrick Garland trade for a while. You know who else says, Jody? People at the DOJ. This is the reporting today. This is the only way to salvage his legacy is to at least release these reports. Yeah. Right? CNN published a lengthy report focused on the Department of Justice failures to hold Trump to account for his role in inciting the deadly January 6 riots. Some members of the DOJ believe the department wasted a full year chasing ghosts after they received tips that Trump had met with leaders of the Proud Boys shortly before the riots erupted. Other DOJ officials said the department could have focused more on running an investigation, much like the one Jack Smith did that led to criminal charges against Trump for conspiracy to defraud the United States. That was the other step I never got. Merrick Garland could have just charged him, or he should have appointed Jack Smith a lot earlier. But that was just like another step that delayed it. I think Jack Smith has done a great job, but it was too late, you know? I mean, it's okay. So, blah, blah, blah. They wasted time. They were not strategic. It was a whole year of nothing, said one former DOJ official, and they waited so long they ended up helping Trump in the primary and dividing the country. True. What's more, two former DOJ officials said that investigators had already uncovered enough evidence against Trump to level charges against him a full year before Smith officially indicted him in 2023. That just seemed like another delay to go, we have all this evidence. Okay, now let's appoint a special counsel who had to essentially start again. You know, I mean, even they took the evidence, but still, had that occurred, it's conceivable a trial for Trump's efforts to illegally remain in power after losing the 2020 election could have occurred before the 2024 election, as it would have provided significant extra time for the U.S. Supreme Court to render a ruling on presidential immunity. So I respectfully disagree with Bart McQuaid on
Okay. You're allowed to.
Yes, indeed I am.
Yeah.
I did my obligatory Go Wolverines and stuff.
Yeah, you did.
And Lions.
And she made a lot of good points. And then during that part, I just went blah, 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 blah. Because people that worked in the institution tend to defend the institution. But I'm just saying it's interesting. These are people in the institution now that, you know, or were just in the DOJ that are talking about the inside. Right. So I just, please, God, they have to release this report. Also, live your life in such a way that no one hates you as much as courtroom sketch artists hate Rudy Giuliani.
Oh, God. Those,
boy.
Remarkably true to life, though, don't you think?
Yeah, a little
they
bit
gave him
too
rabbit
true.
teeth.
He has rabbit teeth. A federal judge has found Giuliani in contempt of court for not complying with orders to turn over information about his assets to Ruby and Ms. Shea. The U.S. District Judge made the contempt finding after Giuliani testified over 2 days to answer questions about why he had failed to hand over assets and court-ordered discovery information. I will take a sliver of justice anywhere I can get it at this point.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Because Trump had this, what was it? Whenever it was, a couple of nights ago at Mar-a-Lago, he has all of the people that should be in prison there. John Eastman, right? Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Clark. They aired some film about John Eastman, about election denial. I'm telling you, we have, less than a couple weeks before they start rewriting the history of the 2020 election just for Trump's ego.
That's right.
I mean, it's, okay. Dan in Wisconsin. Hello, Dan.
Hello.
Hi.
I wanted to give your show a call because I'm a former director of public relations, and I wanted to say that Harris had the correct message. There's a lot of debate going on saying Democrats should become more conservative in the message, and I disagree. The problem wasn't the message, it was the location. There are two reasons for Trump's win. First, Democrats need to do what works, but they're stuck in the strategy of endless canvassing. This campaign had the most canvassing ever, and Trump still won. Example, DNC candidate Ben Winkler was on The Daily Show and proposed to raise money to have someone knock on your door and talk to you about politics for 4 minutes every 2 years. Meanwhile, Republicans are buying up radio stations like there's no end,
right,
including Latino and minority-owned radio stations.
Right. That's what we keep saying. It's not the economy. It's the disinformation on the economy. If you read the Peter Baker New York Times piece, you'll see what I mean. There are not two sets of facts. There is one set of facts, and it's just he essentially won on. We went down the whole thing. Border crossings at an all-time low, inflation coming way down, gas prices, jobless rate, all of it. Right. All of the facts supported the Biden and or Harris campaign.
But what the caller was saying, I kind of agree with. Nobody likes their door knocked on
I hate it.
talk
I hate it.
Talk to a stranger about politics.
Right.
They'd rather get that information on their own time through radio stations, through social media.
Podcasts, all that.
Exactly.
But there are people that definitely want to be talked to person, and they bother me. I don't want to be talked to like that.
I do not want to be talked to
I am not that person.
Yeah.
You knock on my door, I'll be nice to you, but I am not the person.
I won't even answer.
Yeah.
Well, I usually don't either.
We don't like people, generally.
No, we don't like people at all.
But, I mean,
you show up to my house unannounced.
Here's another example of bending the knee, and where we're going to have to be vigilant that there is going to be try to be a total erasure of facts. So Mark Zuckerberg has joined in. He announced in an online video his companies will end their current fact-checking process and pivot to a community notes model. Nope. Like Elon Musk has, right, on X. Zuckerberg laid out a 5-point plan, started with getting rid of fact-checkers. Well, that always helps the right. Right. Blaming legacy media for writing nonstop about how misinformation was a threat to democracy shortly after Trump was elected. Well, yes, because disinformation was the number one factor in the election. He said the fact-checker has just been too politically biased. What do we always say? Facts have a well-known liberal bias. Yep. All the facts Peter Baker just listed about the Biden economy, about all of it, border, all of it. And this is what he said specifically. Meta will simplify the content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. That means that they can continue to lie about the border and about, trans surgery on your kids in school without your permission. And, that it's all illegal immigrants that are, committing all the crime. That, it's the, what do you call it? New Orleans guy. He came across the border.
No, he didn't.
But they keep repeating. And so it's things like that they'll get to continue to lie about if Mark Zuckerberg can suck up to Donald Trump. Yep. Right? I mean, it's there is only one. What is the whole saying, right? You're not entitled to your own facts.
Mark Zuckerberg is another former nerd like Elon Musk who's desperate to be liked by the cool people. So he's cozying up to the cool people in the White House so that he can, be in that crowd again.
By the way, when we come back, the first fissures in the Trump-Elon Musk marriage are starting. The stories. Apparently, he doesn't like the President Musk thing. That's weird. He doesn't seem to like that. He seems to be sensitive about that. You know who does love it? President Musk. President Musk likes it. Ooh, the breakup's starting.
The First Lady. She's the First Lady.
First Lady Elania.
Yeah. Elania.
All right, 48 minutes after the hour. This portion. Happy New Year, Bob McQuaid. Wolverines.
Hey, Happy
Lions.
New Year, Stephanie.
Happy New Year.
Go Lions.
Yeah, go Lions.
I've warned you in advance. I only want answers I want to hear this morning. Now, I've worn my Justice T-shirt just for you.
Okay, it looks good.
Should there be a question mark, or will there be? So let's talk about so Trump raged on Truth Social, as he does, against Judge Merchan and others after he was ordered to show up to a sentencing hearing next week for his criminal hush money case. After being ordered to Friday to the sentencing hearing, he, of course, said Joe Biden and Kamala Harris directly or indirectly were involved in both of the... Okay. Anyway, the same lies we keep hearing. So, Barb, what... I feel like we're operating totally outside the realm of the law that you love at this point, because he should, by any other standard, he should at least be sentenced, right? You can't appeal until you've already been sentenced, correct? But obviously, we've seen so many extraordinary delays and appeals and rulings that what is your take on what will or what can happen by next week?
I think that this sentencing will go forward on Friday, but, I think it's going to be one of these things that satisfies nobody, because the judge has made it clear that although he has rejected Donald Trump's challenges to the verdict and that, he can't be convicted of a crime, the judge has also indicated that he plans to give what is referred to as an unconditional discharge. So that means no prison time, no fine, no probation, not even like community service to pick up litter on the side of the road. So he is, I think this is going to be at least, Donald Trump will stand as a convicted felon. I'm sure he will appeal the verdict, and that will continue. But there's really no significant reason to believe that this conviction should be overturned. It was found by a jury. Juries are given great deference in their verdicts. And so it may be that even though he doesn't get any prison time, he does stand branded as a convicted felon.
Funny you should bring up picking up garbage. Don't you think he should be sentenced to pick up at least the McDonald's wrappers that he's thrown out and is littered in his own life? Okay. I'm looking for any measure of justice here.
I get it. I understand.
I mean, but there is, I guess, a scale at this point, right? That he wanted it dismissed, so it just wasn't dismissed because, like you say, I don't understand what legal universe we're in. Whether it's this one or pardoning the January 6th terrorists, these are people that have been convicted and already admitted to crimes. Like, are we in a period now of trying to go back to rewrite history and just say a jury didn't convict me, they didn't plead guilty to this? I mean, where are we legally?
Well, it is a strange time, especially if Donald Trump does pardon those January 6th defendants. But I think it is important to remember that we can't rewrite history. One of the things that Judge Merchan writes in his opinion, trying to fashion a sort of retroactive immunity, that because he's the president-elect, that should wipe away the conviction that happened last May. And the judge rejects that. So the judge says he's trying to balance three things. One is the president's ability to carry out the job he was elected to perform by the voters. Another is the rule of law. And finally, what he calls the sanctity of the jury's verdict. And so that should carry weight. That should be honored historically. That does not get rewritten. And so his effort of sentencing Donald Trump is to say, you are formally now hereby known as a felon, even though he will not serve any prison time.
Yeah. Well, okay. But so I guess, so he can't appeal it until he's sentenced, correct?
Correct.
But is there some other, because he always tries everything, right? Is there some other way to delay or to...
He could try to get some sort of emergency stay. He could try to get some sort of writ of mandamus. He could go to a higher court. But I really think most courts are going to say this case really is not ripe until you are sentenced. And since the judge does not intend to, and I think it was probably quite deliberate. You know, it's very rare that a judge will say in advance, here's what I think I'll do on Friday without even hearing all the arguments.
Yeah.
Because I think he probably wanted to cut off at the pass any notion by another judge that he planned to throw Donald Trump in prison just before he's about to take the oath of office.
Yeah.
And so I think they'll fail. I think that he will get sentenced. I think it'll be no prison time. I think he will appeal, and then they'll examine the record of whether there was any error at the trial. And, you know, if that's the case, then a verdict can be overturned.
Steffi. Steffi.
What? Yes, it is the Stephanie Miller Show. Charlie Pierce and Frankie Figs coming up. How you doing? Frankie Figluzzi, my G-Spot man, coming up in just a little bit. Huh?
Oh,
yeah. Lots to talk about. Here's my other favorite meme. Congratulations, America. You got back with your ex who was supposed to be in prison. Yep. Nicely done. Nicely done, America. I've already cried through several versions of my Kamala Harris T-shirts and had to change. There she was, right? Yesterday, just
doing
strength,
her job.
dignity.
Mm-hmm. Class.
Yes, class. Hey, check into that. Stupid white man that wouldn't shake her hand.
She's not going away. She could be our next governor.
I know, she probably will be. Oh, and by the way, Gavin Newsom will hand over the fourth largest economy in the world. We just passed Germany.
Right.
And we have a surplus.
So don't be so sad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Where is 9, please? The vice president.
Obviously a very important day, and it was about what should be the norm and what the American people should be able to take for granted, which is that one of the most important pillars of our democracy is that there will be a peaceful transfer of power. And today, I did what I have done my entire career, which is take seriously the oath that I have taken many times to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Which includes...
I love her so much. Okay, go ahead.
All right.
Which included today performing my constitutional duties to ensure that the people of America, the voters of America, will have their votes counted, that those votes matter, and that they will determine then the outcome of an election. I do believe very strongly that America's democracy is only as strong as our willingness to fight for it.
And by the way, they can go themselves. The people like, it's up to Democrats to reach out now. Kamala Harris literally physically reached out yesterday.
She did.
And watch that clip and tell me, are we the ones that are supposed to make nice to these people? Bruce Fisher, husband of Republican Senator Deb Fisher, snubbed Harris after she swore in his wife. She had shaken the senator's hand, then reached to greet her husband. The latter refused the gesture. Harris seemed shocked, removing her hand and smiling awkwardly for the picture. I mean, the sitting vice president of the United States.
Yep.
Keith Boykin said this election was never about the economy. It was always about white supremacy. What an absolutely pathetic display of fragility and hate. The bare minimum, shaking someone's hand, is apparently too much for these people. This is cave dweller behavior, plain and simple. No class, no decency, just pure spite, Brian Allen said. He couldn't make eye contact, eyes locked on the Bible. How ironic. This is degenerate and sinister behavior. Astounding. Someone else on Twitter, Joe Walsh, our friend, said he also refused to look Kamala in the eye. Ugly, mean, cruel, intolerant, and cowardly, Trumpy behavior. Shame on you, Bruce Fisher. And MAGA world is applauding him. Pathetic. I'd rather once again applaud Kamala Harris. All class, grace, warmth, and decency. Thank you, Vice President. And then Brian Tyler Cohen just said the level of class you can expect from a MAGA. Yeah, and you just knew without even looking online that behavior would be cheered. Yep. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure with a bunch of, N-words and other misogynistic phrases. Oh, yeah.
Oh, they called her a commie.
Yes, I'm sure they did. Mm-hmm. All right.
The fascists called her a commie?
Yes.
Okay.
Charlie Pierce, next.
I feel like her heartbeat is like same speed as mine, and I think we have this like deep connection, this heart connection in her heart, that there's room for me and Mom. When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer. It's a sensory thing. It's a thing with Asperger's.
She's really good with Anya. I've seen adults react to my daughter when she has meltdowns like she's from a different planet. And this little animal just sat next to my child and was just like, it's gonna be cool. She's my superhero.
Good job, Kitty Cat.
When we adopted Lucky, we discovered all the wonderful things that make her unique.
Lucky's a little bit of a lot of things, but mostly she's pure love.
We're inviting you to tune in to The Freedom Side, our weekly program where we interview experts about local struggles, geopolitics, and everything in between. Tune in to The Freedom Side, Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Free Speech TV.
I'm Sagan March with Florida Rising, and you're watching Free Speech TV.
Even though we didn't grow up together, he's my favorite brother.
Hey, sis.
I'm the baby of the family, and he's the gentle giant.
What you know about poor Georgia?
Man, please, that's a classic.
You know when they say people are a rare breed? Yeah, he's that.
I'm sorry, I'll be back in a few hours.
Don't worry, Shug, you know I'm for you.
I know.
Go get the football.
That was my favorite memory. He was always for you. This is a true story of me, Bridget Floyd, and this guy, George Perry Floyd Jr., my big brother.
Hi, this is Mark with FSTV. Discover the power of grassroots movements through Free Speech TV.
How long are you going to pick it for?
As long as it takes. How long it takes, man. As long as it takes. Don't even care.
We're here for the long run, man. For a week, for 2 weeks.
2 months, why not? Need more money! Need more money!
Strike! 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 32,000 Boeing workers are on strike in the Pacific Northwest. They walked off the job at midnight Friday after 95% of workers voted down a tentative contract agreement between Boeing and IAM, the machinists union. 96% of workers voted to go on strike.
Voted no, rejecting the contract, voting yes for strike. Us as machinists and mechanics deserve a better future, for not only us but for our children. And this vote today determines that, the future of Boeing.
Workers rejected a contract that would have raised wages 25% over 4 years. After losing their pensions, years of slipping wages, and rampant safety problems, Boeing workers are demanding better.
We're supposed to be the best in the aerospace industry. They need to be paying their employees accordingly. They're willing to pay all their executives. The upper crust makes all the money in the world, but yet the people who build the planes can't. We're just trying to make a wage to afford to be able to have a house and feed our families.
We haven't really had a pay raise in 10 years.
The wage increase isn't enough. Just over the last 7 years, I've lost 23% of my buying power due to inflation. The cost of planes have gone up, but our wages have not. It's stagnated. I make 23% less money. That's unacceptable.
And if you keep letting them take and take and take, when does it end?
We've been seeing that they've done for the last 16 years when we've been in this pigeonhole of a contract, what they've done for their upper level and their management. They've been willing to bend over backwards and give them, $20 and $30 million plus bonuses where they can't even support their employees that build the plane.
The future of Boeing is precarious, as the company struggles with a crisis of its own design, overwhelmed by safety problems and deluged with criticism after nearly 2 decades of financialization.
Well, problems continue to mount for U.S. aerospace company Boeing after another string of international safety incidents.
The NTSB says this photo shows the failed Alaska Airlines door plug still on the Boeing production line, without at least 3 of the 4 bolts to hold it in place.
Our goal is to make sure that Boeing makes the necessary changes and has the right tools in place to sustain those changes.
I really think that when you talk to people on the floor, we want to do a better job. We want the environment that helps us make that safe, quality work, and we expect Boeing to provide it.
Are you worried about company's financial state?
Nope, because they did this themselves, not us.
Workers are looking for input into production, with bonuses for delivering the safe planes that Boeing has regularly sabotaged.
We're going to be here for a long time. The deal's going to take a little while. It's definitely not going to happen overnight, and most of us are definitely prepared to be here a long time.
When I first saw Turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
we discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure
love.
Cop City is a facility that would allow for police to do police training. And they're building this facility kind of on the cusp, on the back end from the George Floyd protest. The biggest issue is the environmental concerns. There is, as you know, Atlanta is called the city in the forest. And the Woollanee Forest actually is considered the lungs of Atlanta. And so they literally are looking at tearing down this urban canopy, this forest in the middle of the city. That's the lungs. That creates clean air for many of the residents around in that community, predominantly Black and brown and poor working class communities. So you have this intersection of a problem in regards to how we're dealing with policing, how we're dealing with environmental justice, and we're coupling that, meaning that racial justice is climate justice and vice versa.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
Democrats and as a party, we have a constitution to follow. I was incredibly proud and moved by Vice President Harris. She clearly set the tone for Congress, for the party, I think for the country, in the way that she has said her words this morning on the video, has her statements over the past few weeks, and certainly today, just the poise was a complete class act on her part. So I'm very proud of her today and proud of our party. The same can't be said, of course, for Donald Trump and what happened 4 years ago. And I think it goes to show you that we are a party of responsible grown-ups who believe in democracy. And it's just a shame that that can't be said on the other side.
Representative Robert Garcia of the great state of California. All right. Happy 2025, everybody. By the way, we can't even keep up with the Sexy Liberal DC, January 18th, on panel. Yep. Chris, help me. JoJo from Jurors.
Right.
Olivia Troy.
Right.
George Conway. Harry Dunn.
Yes.
Capital 6, January
and
6th, Capitol Officer. Yes, and a cast of thousands to be announced. As I speak. All right. I'll keep
double check.
Yes, by the end of the show, I may know more. Tyson says, Mama. Oh, and also you can get pay-per-view, sexyliberal.com. Mama, Jody, Chris, it's Tyson in Albuquerque. Audrey, Charlie Rangel mimic dad.
Charlie Rangel.
That's Audrey, who is 74 now.
Yeah, she's collecting Social Security.
She's got great-grandchildren. Well, not if the Republicans have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
They will snatch Audrey's Social Security. From like Cindy Lou Who's candy cane.
But the
they
president
will
just saved public workers' Social Security.
For now.
All right.
For now.
All right. I've been licking my wounds, questioning reality like a lot of us godless libs have been. Wanted to share with you I got a new puppy. I rescued Betty from Betty. Hi, Betty. From the pound. She's a shepherd cause she had a rough start. She was saved from an abusive situation, had to have her rear leg amputated due to an unhealed trauma. Betty Blanca, named after the late, great Betty White. Betty Blanca, get it?
Yes, I get it, yeah.
To honor her work with animal groups. Betty is my inspiration to go on, be strong, and overcome anything, even Trump 2.0, God help us. Love you, Mama, Jody, Chris, and assorted underlings. Well, I mean, everyone's an underling compared to me.
Maybe Bonnie and Clyde were the underlings.
Can I just say, we mentioned this yesterday, we're all going to need our comfort things, and my Bonnie, the pets are definitely Bonnie and Clyde. I was explaining the sleep situation.
Right.
We sleep as like one organism. They are like two cemented to my
amoebas. They're like amoebas.
Yeah, yeah, but also
they weigh a lot more.
Right, but they also have me pinned down. They're like two like bowling balls with spikes on them. They have me pinned under the covers. They're on either side of me, so I have to do. It's kind of a plank, like you said.
Yeah.
It's a plank. It's a yoga move. If I have to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, it's a.
You gotta slide out.
Yeah, you cannot move them in any way.
No.
Yeah, but they're warm and snuggly, and we're all going to need our.
Are they under the covers or over the covers?
No, they're over the covers so that I cannot get out of the covers.
So they've
I am
mummied you.
pinned down. Yes, I am like a mummy.
Right.
Pinned.
Have you thought about opening the bottom part so it's not tucked under the
Right.
bottom?
Maybe you
and
could
then
crawl out the
crawl
end of the
under.
bed.
You could crawl
Well, then
under them.
that's an even longer plank move to the bottom of the bed. At least this way I can try. All right. Listen, you know who else is snuggly? You know who else.
There's only one man now that understands, and that's the author of Idiot America. Pierce.
Pierce. Charlie Pierce, political columnist for Esquire.com.
Why is everybody always laughing with me?
Hi, Charlie Pierce. Good morning.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, we can't hear you.
Yep. I think you're on mute, honey. It says something. Your speaker something.
Take it out and plug it back in again.
Okay, let's try that. Oh, let's reboot Charlie.
There we go. Try it now.
All right.
Hi, Charlie.
Can you hear us?
Let's try
there
this
he
all
is.
again.
Yay.
Yes. Okay. Here we go.
Hi, Charlie. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Yay! The audio's working. That's all I care about. So, Charlie, we had a, as I said, feces-free certification of the votes yesterday on January 6th. Something new we're trying here.
Yes, I couldn't bear to watch the Democrats being noble.
Oh, I know.
I mean, after 2000 and 2020, I don't watch that ceremony.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I was saying just everything you need to know is Deb Fischer's husband refusing to shake the sitting vice president's hand. I mean, just it's become their whole party, just classless and mean and rude.
Oh, I didn't know about Deb Fischer.
Yeah, Vice President Harris shook her hand, and she went to shake her husband's hand, and he deliberately
didn't even look her in the eye.
Yeah, just deliberately.
America's least significant senator.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But that's the whole thing, Charlie. But we're supposed to reach out now or bend the knee or be, bipartisan. Screw that, I say.
No,
what say you, sir?
I'm not inclined to. I'm not ready to make nice.
Thank you. You're an honorary chick.
Because my hometown congressman is Jim McGovern, so.
Yeah, he's great.
I take my lead from him.
Yeah, he's great. How about this? France's President Macron stated Elon Musk is directly intervening in elections, including Germany, and is supporting a new reactionary international. At least 3 other European leaders, blah, 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 have called out Musk in the last 24 hours. If only we could do that with President Musk, as we like to call him, right?
Yes. I'm all in favor of President Biden deporting him immediately.
Yeah,
as a danger to American democracy.
Yeah. Here we are.
Back to the Emerald Mine with you.
By the way, would you like some gossip, Charlie? This is my.
Oh, I would love some.
The
gossip.
first stories are about the breakup are starting.
Uh-oh.
Trump privately complains about clingy Elon Musk, according to Maggie Haberman. Donald Trump is publicly thrilled to have first buddy Elon Musk camping out a few hundred feet from his house. Privately, he seems to be tiring of Musk dropping in whenever he feels like it.
Camping out? Is he living like in a tent on the beach?
No, he's living at he's renting a place at He's like Kramer.
Casita.
He's the Kramer.
Yeah, he's renting a casita at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah,
he said. I didn't know they had them. So he's literally a cabana boy.
Yes, he has been renting the $2,000 a night Banyan Cottage at Trump's private Mar-a-Lago club. Trump does complain a bit to people about how Musk is around a lot, according to the New York Times.
Is he reading any top secret documents or secreted in the cabana?
Probably.
Apparently, we're everywhere down there. So.
Yeah.
Musk has been able, from his little whatever cabana.
Casita?
Yes,
yeah.
He's been able to attend Trump's personnel meetings and crash awkward dinners with rival tech billionaires like Jeff Bezos. He's really parked himself in Trump's face, Haberman writes. It's not clear how long that will last. Trump hasn't even taken office yet, and already Musk has inserted himself in policy battles to the point of Democrats calling him President Musk. It definitely bothers him, Haberman said of Trump's reaction to that taunt. Trump is a one-ring circus, and to his longtime friends, I'm not sure Musk has figured that out yet. I think a bunch of people around him are also struggling with how aggressive Musk can be in their interactions. He seems more willing to irritate Trump than some of his other advisors. The fact that he's willing and able to fund primary challengers probably buys him more time than usual, but it's still a fraught relationship. It's like watching shifting sands around Trump. It's like this one's up, this one's down, but no one's ever totally out. What is your prediction for this?
Like sands through the hourglass.
Right.
These are the days of my Musk.
I mean, this whole MAGA fight over the holidays was just fascinating. So he's been running on this anti-immigrant platform forever. And Musk and Ramaswamy are like, yeah, Americans are too dumb for these jobs. We got to bring people in.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but you got to remember that Elon Musk actually has all the money Donald Trump wishes he had.
Right.
That's right. He worships that, but he hates the President Musk thing. I mean, it'll be interesting to see.
Which is why the Democrats should use it like every day.
Oh yeah. Yes, it appears to be working.
They should call the White House switchboard once a day. Every Democratic member of Congress should call the White House switchboard every day and ask for President Musk.
And if not, Prince Albert in a can. Oh, by the way,
or if the refrigerator's running.
Right.
Oh, by the way, as we mentioned over the holidays, we also missed making Canada the 51st state.
51st state.
Yeah.
Buying Greenland and taking back the Panama Canal.
Donald Jr. is going to Greenland.
Yes, so that's what I was about to bring up with you, that yes, Trump announced that his son, Don Cokie McCokespoon, will be going to Greenland in preparation for the territory becoming part of our nation.
Has anyone told Denmark?
Yeah.
Yes. Denmark would like a word. I'm hearing the people of Greenland are MAGA.
One guy.
Okay. He said, Greenland's an incredible place. The people will benefit tremendously.
He's never been to Greenland. How can he say it's an incredible place?
If and when it becomes a part of our nation, we will protect it, cherish it from a very vicious outside world. Make Greenland great again.
It's got a lot of nice minerals.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only reason. That's the only reason he wants it, because it fits the MAGA epigram.
I believe Hitler said that about Poland.
And I think Georgia and Guatemala are next.
Yeah.
Who's that right-wing douche on CNN? Brian Jennings. I think he said
Scott
Jennings. Okay, whatever. They said should we take Greenland over by force if necessary? He goes, yeah. You know, there aren't many people there.
50,000.
I'm just like, what? I mean,
and we can kill all of them anyway.
No.
So.
I think Hitler actually said Poland was wearing a really tight dress. I think I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was asking for it.
Yeah, yes.
Bent over that pinball machine.
Right. Poland was bent over the. Stop it, Chris. Stop leading me astray.
It's his job.
Charlie, I'm telling you, as a journalist, a keeper of the facts, we are really going to have to be vigilant. We were just talking about Trump saying that Biden is making the transition as difficult as possible. And you remember 4 years ago yesterday, the transition was is difficult the word?
Well, apparently they've done like none of the paperwork.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because no rules apply to them. They don't need no stinking badges, I guess. Right. He blasted Biden for making the transition. Okay. If there is a God, Charlie, wouldn't he just burst into flames the moment he says that and puts his hand anywhere near a Bible? Is that?
It's astonishing. He knows full well that enough people believe him that he can say anything at this point.
Yeah. Biden has welcomed Trump to the White House for a convivial meeting, has pledged to attend the inauguration. There's that. Trump didn't even attend the inauguration, right? I mean...
and Biden's already said he's going to do that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just, this is what it's going to be. Up is down, black is white for 4 years, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Wait till all of the, all the rest of the good stuff that Biden did kicks in, and he starts taking credit for it.
Yeah. I mean, thank you, Peter Baker, for finally writing a piece about how great the Biden administration's record is.
That piece may have enraged me more than any other piece that ever appeared in the New York Times.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about the classic now a warning. It's not a warning though. It's like
too late.
Now, operation.
Yeah, it's the closing the barn door section of our mainstream media. So, but then what? Because, Trump will take credit. 12:01 on January 20th, suddenly it'll be all his accomplishments. Yep. And the press, it seems like, will largely let him.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said absolutely. He'll probably do it as an inaugural address.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Although God alone knows what this one's going to be like. I sat through the last one, like 30 feet from the podium, with a bunch of other reporters going, holy crap.
Do I have to get that audio?
No. Oh, God, no.
Oh, good. Thank you.
No. No, we will be the alternative programming on Inauguration Day. We're doing a blackout. Nobody's watching that. Charlie, speaking of facts, this is why they have got to release the Jack Smith reports. Otherwise...
This would be the final demonstration that Merrick Garland was a really bad choice, is if he somehow stifles this report.
Yeah, as Joe Biden has apparently admitted, and several DOJ insiders have.
Well, apparently they're now appealing to Judge flamenco dancer down there in Florida.
Oh, really?
Canada. Oh, God.
Yeah, because one of the parts of the report is about the documents.
Right.
Yeah.
So she would have standing to withhold, I guess, at least that part of the report.
That's the important part.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying over and over, Charlie, they're going to rewrite, for his ego, they're going to rewrite the 2020 election.
They're going to They're already halfway rewritten January 6th.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Geraldo Rivera, I knew it wouldn't be long before he went back to his bad ideas. He says he called on Trump to pardon those who took part in the January 6th Capitol riots, arguing it was the right thing to do after he wrecked their lives by inciting them. Yes, he did all that, but no. I mean, it remains to be seen what's left of the rule of law after he takes office, right?
But yeah, I mean, although I do have to give Joe Biden credit for like giving the Presidential Medal of Freedom to everybody this guy hates.
Yes. Yeah. There was a little bit of dark Brandon energy in those.
I'm surprised Stormy Daniels didn't get one.
Oh, come on. There's still time, Joe.
Time.
All right.
Charlie,
Charlie.
where would you hang it?
Right?
Charlie, Happy New Year. We're late. I didn't realize
Oh,
how late
we're
we are.
late. Goodbye.
Okay,
That's
love
right.
you.
You got an FBI raid today.
We do.
I got a G-spot man coming up. I got to go. Goodbye.
The G-spot fella.
Yeah.
All right, that's the Chicago way.
Yeah. Thanks, Charlie.
21 minutes after the hour of this portion of the show brought to you by Victor She. Hi.
Hi. Happy New Year. It's so great to see you.
Happy New Year. And I started by heck nagging you like your political mom. I'm like, where were you at the party? But you were sick. The baby was sick.
Through to be here, I unfortunately got not norovirus, but something very similar. I don't know if it quite was norovirus, but I'm better now. I regret not being there, but I will be in LA later this week, so maybe we can meet up in person.
Oh, yay! I'm sorry I Karen'd you, but I was I demanded to speak to a manager. I just Mark Hamill sat here with just one single tear, waiting for his. Yeah,
I witnessed it.
Yeah, he did. He said you said Victor She was coming, and I'm like, well,
that's why Mark came.
Yeah. I can't make him cry.
No. He's a national treasure.
He is.
He very much is.
Speaking of,
so are you.
Oh, Victor She. Can I just tell you, by the way, of all the things that happened over the holidays, obviously Jimmy Carter's passing, I just loved your posts about it because, man, you and I have talked about this whole, like, what do we call it? The bro spear?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
These, the douche bros is what I call them. Was part of this fake macho whatever that helped Trump get. Anyway, but you just, I just loved, from your perspective, as you just graduated UCLA, so are you 22 or?
22, yeah.
22, yeah. But you just retweeted, someone just saying a great role model for young men, served his country, Navy submariner, graduate work in nuclear physics, married 77 years, entrepreneur, 39th president, Nobel Peace Prize, author of 30 books, Habitat for Humanity volunteer, Sunday school teacher. And you just said this, Jimmy Carter's career and life should be studied and looked up to by every young man in America. This is who we want our young men to emulate. And you couldn't help but be struck by that. He is literally 180 degrees from Donald Trump. He was as good a man as Donald Trump is evil, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But
he is, and I just think that we've strayed away from the values that have defined us for so long, and especially, I mean, you mentioned this. I think this is very prevalent among young men, and it's why I really feel like Jimmy Carter is such a good role model for so many people at this time of. I think a lot of young men, particularly, feel more isolated. They feel a little bit more lost in life, and if there's someone who they should look up to, it should be Jimmy Carter, and it should be reinforcing this importance of public service and giving back to your country and not caring about people, having empathy, and that's what Jimmy Carter represented. And so I hope that in sort of how we think about his legacy, we think about how we can tell our children and the men in our lives sort of what that person looks like and what it looks like to give back to your community and how that is actually a good and cool thing to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and just what real service and what real Christianity looks like, I mean, all the way up to this MAGA terrorist that in Vegas, talking about, masculinity and Trump and a Musk fan and what, just this false, what do they call it? Machismo but yeah, just to further your couple of the other posts, you said it's about a life of service, dedication to family, love of country, civic duty, education, dignity, respect for others, doing what's right, empathy, always giving back. That was Jimmy Carter's life. What a fantastic role model for so many, especially young men. And you just said we got to return to those principles. We've got to return to those values. I hope you'll share this great summary of his life to all the young men in your life. I mean, that's part of going to be the work politically of the next 2-4 years, isn't it? Is because we all heard that, like, oh, Kamala Harris didn't talk to the bros enough. I mean, but there really is. I mean, the fact that they're emulating Donald Trump as someone masculine, or what a man should be, Talk about that a little bit as a young
Yeah, I
guy.
mean, it's actually one of the reasons why I really hope that, I mean, aside from all the barrier-breaking things that Kamala would have done as the first female president of the United States, I actually thought that the example that her husband, Doug Emhoff, set and Vice President Tim Walz would have set would have been so important for young men to see sort of what it looks like for men to actually support women. And I think that there's this, especially, I mean, very particular among like, the people who watch Barstool Sports and the bros who are in frats. Like, I don't think that there is that sort of willingness to support women in that way. And I think it would have been so great to see someone like, I mean, Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff has been so good at this during his time as Second Gentleman, just really allowing Kamala to shine. And I think that would have been so important for so many people to see.
Just stuff. Okay. Michelangelo in Colorado. Hello, Mike.
Hello, good morning, folks. How you doing?
Hey.
I'm a little under so I hope you can hear me. Commander Karen, we had a Zoom last night. You were invited to come. You didn't come to our party. So what I want to say is, maybe here in 2025, you might want to go and visit. For all the folks there in the group, Kevin from D.C. and Sue from...
Go visit where?
Their Zoom meeting.
Oh, yes. Okay,
yeah,
yes.
Come and visit our party.
All right. Well, I'm having the party is in D.C. January 18th, people. It is the big, sexy liberal party, the extravaganza, the finale. So I haven't even checked my inbox whether I have more bookings, but we have it's a cast. It's right. The American Resistance 2.0 begins. People's March and then Sexy Liberal at the Warner Theater.
Right.
JoJo from Jers, George Conway, Olivia Troy, Harry Dunn so far on panel.
Basically the cast of 300.
We have a lot more surprises to go, and it's available pay-per-view for only $20. Get it. Chris, might you take your organ out for me? Thank you so much. Charlie was just mentioning the medals that Joe Biden gave out, some of which did have Dark Brandon energy, like George Soros. That was good. Good one, Dark Brandon. But how on point is this for our friends on the, Christian right? Right-wing pastor Kent Christmas. Oh, his name's actually Christmas? Uh-huh. Oh. He predicted that God would kill President Biden because he awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom to George Soros. He made the remarks during a Sunday sermon in church. Because, of course he did. Because this is American Christianity today. Okay. Wow. That story and the, what do you call it? Deb Fischer's husband snubbing the sitting vice president's handshake. It just tells you everything you need to know about this hot mess of a party. 29 minutes after the hour. Frankie Figs! There you go.
happened. And the whole radicalization process is very difficult for law enforcement generally, local, state, federal. And the so-called lone wolf, the person who doesn't act in concert with anyone else. So there are no communications to intercept. There's no way to get in an informant inserted. Those kinds of investigative methods don't work when you're talking about a lone wolf. So you have this combination of really trying to understand what is still, I think, a mystery to most in law enforcement, all in law enforcement actually, is this radicalization process, but also the lone wolf phenomenon.
Former Homeland Security Director Janet Napolitano, you know, this guy, as handsome as he is, when you see him on your TV, you're like, oh, something bad happened. Good morning, Frank Figliuzzi.
Frank Figliuzzi.
Frank Figliuzzi. Frank Figliuzzi.
Former G-Man.
The FBI.
Frank Figliuzzi joins us now.
In color.
Frank Figliuzzi, the former FBI Assistant Director for Counterintelligence.
I feel like I need my favorite G-Man.
She's got you on.
Author of the bestseller, FBI Way, Inside the Bureau's Code of Excellence.
The FBI in your fought against crime.
Think of every FBI agent as handsome and fantastic as Frank Figliuzzi. Good morning, Frank. Frankie Figs, how you doing?
Frankie Figs, yeah, that was my name when I was in the mob, and then I saw the light and went into the bureau, and I didn't think they were going to take me after my background, but they did. They did.
You don't think of G-Man as being funny, but he is.
Yeah.
So, you know, Frank, to Janet Napolitano's point, this is just, first of all, Trump's not even in office yet, but how dangerous, to her point, is this to law enforcement when you have what will be the president just shooting off misinformation immediately? First of all, based on an erroneous Fox News report that this was, this guy was an illegal immigrant that had come across the border, when, as we know, it turns out he's an American citizen born in Texas, right?
Yeah, what we're going to experience on steroids is the difference between fact-based truth and Trump-based truth. So if Trump wants to tell us that this guy in New Orleans came over the border, about half the country is going to be willing to take it and swallow it. And let's look at the news this morning. Meta has decided that they're not going to do fact-checking anymore.
Yeah.
So now we're in an environment where there's really no counter to the lies being put out. This guy had no connection to the border. We can't even find an international connection directly, other than probably sitting at home online getting recruited remotely.
And I think of Chris Wray testifying, you know, what we all know, that the statistic 90-something% of our terrorism problem, of course, is right-wing, you know, white supremacist, whatever you want to call it, extremism here in the United States. Well, you know, Trump, no one will ever say that. Everything will be, it's all left-wing violence, because they say that no matter what. And I don't know how law enforcement works in that environment.
Trump has said, right, repeatedly on day one, he's going to pardon at least some, if not all, of the January 6th defendants. So it's literally rewriting history. This idea of, hey, don't look over here at domestic extremism. Look over here at the border. That's a problem. We have a legit problem with homegrown violent extremists of the violent jihad nature. And if we're, if we're going to pretend that, oh, no, they're not Americans, they're not Texans, they're not Army veterans, then we're going to have a problem getting out in front of them.
And look at this. He said barely a word about the Vegas bomber, who was a MAGA extremist, basically, that blew up the Tesla, right? I mean, it basically was the same rhetoric from January 6th. So we got to kill all the Democrats in Washington, blah, blah, blah. I mean,
well, I also think the media is partly to blame here, Stephanie, because they're really not publishing a lot of this guy's, in Las Vegas, a lot of this guy's very pro-Trump statements. Now, he was suffering from PTSD, mental illness. The guy was a sergeant in the Green Berets. It's a horrible, tragic story. Yeah. But, let's not suppress what may have motivated this guy.
Yeah. Well, to this whole point, Trump has had a lot to say in the aftermath of the attack in New Orleans. Most of it has been, I love this reporting, deeply unfortunate.
Yeah.
meaning untrue. He has peddled ugly misinformation. So, but the one element people are commenting on, so I just want to get your take on it. He said the DOJ, FBI, and departments, state and local prosecutors have not done their job. They're incompetent and corrupt, having spent all their waking hours unlawfully attacking their political opponent, me, rather than focusing on protecting Americans from outside and inside violent scum that has infiltrated all aspects of our government and our nation itself. Democrats should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this to happen to our country. The CIA must get involved now before it's too late. So, as this piece points out, get involved how exactly? It's not unclear like who or what Trump expects the CIA to investigate. It would be bizarre given that they have no jurisdiction, right? There's supposed to be foreign intelligence gathering. The matter can be handled by state, local, and federal law enforcement. Maybe he envisions a scenario in which the agency targets state, local, and federal prosecutors. If so, that would probably be illegal. Not sure that will matter. Trump 2.0. Perhaps he'd like to see the CIA hunt for the violent scum that he says has infiltrated our government. Once again, these people don't appear to exist in reality. The CIA has no such authority to launch a scum search. I mean, the ways he's going to use the FBI, CIA, you name it, is just sort of boggles the mind, doesn't it?
We're in for some real potential abuses of authority and power, or just as you said with regard to CIA, just outright discarding the rules and laws about what the CIA can do, what the NSA can do. So now you're going to have potentially Kash Patel at heading up FBI. You're going to have his man John Ratcliffe over at CIA. And yes, could he turn those agencies into domestic spy agencies? Absolutely. Would we ever know about it until it's too late, particularly with CIA? We won't know.
Yeah. So you retweeted a piece that the man responsible for the truck attack in New Orleans on New Year's Day that killed 14 people visited the city twice before and recorded video of the French Quarter with Meta smart glasses. Yep. I'm a techno spaz, so this is way above my pay grade. So they believe, as Janet Napolitano was saying, he acted alone. But talk to us about that particular thing. I guess he could have live streamed the horrible event, but he didn't. But tell us about those.
Well, with regard to the Meta glasses, it appears he was using them for himself, meaning go back home after you ride your bike around the French Quarter, look at what you've done, and see if you've got identified vulnerability spots, targets, weak areas. You know, he wanted to case the place, as they say. I find I've written a column last week on MSNBC Daily about Turo, which is a commonality between the Las Vegas case and the New Orleans case.
I was just going to ask you. Talk about what. Go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about what it is. You said.
Yeah, and I want to be careful to say, look, there's no inherently evil thing about Turo. Lots of people use it. It's a cheap alternative. Yeah. But don't mistake it for a brick and mortar rental car company. You can loan out your car for a fee to anybody who wants to rent it. And here's the problem for law enforcement. Turo is, over the last few years, being used for crimes, including bank robbery, human smuggling, drug dealing, because that license plate comes back to you. It's your car. It doesn't come back to the rental company. And that makes it very hard and prolongs law enforcement's efforts to figure out whose car it really is and who's really in that car committing the criminal act.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I have a personal question since I happen to have a former FBI agent on. So my sister and her family were out visiting, and they borrowed my car to go visit my brother-in-law's family, and apparently they got on a toll road by accident. And my sister's like, oh, I'm really sorry. I think they got a picture of your license plate, so you're probably going to get it.
They'll mail you a bill.
Yeah, they will. They'll mail you a bill.
Yeah.
You'll get the bill.
They will. Yeah.
I'm like, thanks, Mayor. Okay.
But Stephanie, you've just
pay
explained
it, that's all.
Really very, very succinctly how Turo is a problem.
Right. I'm like, thanks. That wasn't me. It was my stupid sister. Okay.
You're not going to get a ticket. You're just going to get a bill for the toll.
Yes, I will be sending that right along to North Carolina.
Yes.
But so, I hadn't even heard about this. But so both of the New Orleans and they had used Turo. So you said, as you just said, reports suggest peer-to-peer rentals are more likely to attract criminals and be used by criminals than those from vehicle rental companies. And you just said you did say it's too bad that companies are trying to make renting a vehicle cheaper for the renter and safe and lucrative for the owner, have to contend with people using it to commit crimes. So, but you talk about how it slows down law enforcement, though, right? So talk about that for a sec.
Yeah, it's a speed bump, no pun intended. It is because those officers, Border Patrol has complained about this because of the drug and human smuggling around the border, and they run a license plate. It comes back to Frank Figluzzi, but I don't know. I rented my car to some guy, and now he's using it for smuggling, and it takes a long time to figure out what has really transpired there.
Yeah.
That's the issue. The other thing that's happening with Turo is you have a choice if you're going to rent your car out. You can have somebody come to your home, which obviously is problematic, and pick up the car. Now they know your address, or you could say, "Hey, it's on the corner of Maple and Oak." And the keys are in the car, and it's those cars are getting stolen left and right by people who just browse the app and go, "Hey, there's a rental car on Maple and Oak."
This seems like a bad idea on so many levels, but
It is
also,
cheaper. It's a lot cheaper than renting a car.
It is cheaper.
Right, but also, as you were saying, if it's a terrorism investigation, it slows you down because if you don't know, for instance, someone acted alone, it's slowing you down, finding out what's happening.
Exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. They got to get better at this, and I feel for the owner of Turo. They were about to have an initial public offering to go public, and now it's like, oh God.
Yeah. So save this story for you too. Federal agents found one of the largest stockpiles of homemade explosives they've ever seized. They arrested a Virginia man on firearms charges last month. More than 150 pipe bombs and other devices. Several apparent pipe bombs were found in a backpack in the home's bedroom, completely unsecured. He shares the home with his wife and 2 young children. What could go wrong there? But so interestingly, in terms of law enforcement, Frank, it says defense attorneys argued in a motion authorities haven't produced evidence he was planning any violence. Maybe he's doing a reboot of the Roadrunner cartoon. Maybe he needed. Yeah,
he works for Acme, Stephanie.
Yeah, maybe he works for Acme.
I think he's trying to get the Eagle Scout badge for bombs. That's probably what happened there. It was just a homework assignment. Look, what this tells us, Stephanie, is first, through my 25 years of law enforcement, I was consistently amazed at what is out on the street. I mean, it can literally make you sick to your stomach. I never forget, in Cleveland, Ohio, we hit a house, went upstairs in the attic. There were crates, unopened crates of fully automatic rifles. And I mean, that's what you're up against. Yeah. And the concern moving forward with the Trump administration is if we're going to take our eyes off the domestic terror problem, we're going to see this happen a lot.
I omitted a key piece of evidence to an FBI agent. He also, was using pictures of President Biden for target practice that he believed that political assassination should be brought back. So now, I don't know what you need to charge.
Brought back? When was it ever a proper thing?
Right, but I mean, I guess what they're saying is the judge determined that he could be released into house arrest into his mom's home. What? Why does, first of all, the January 6th zip cut tie guy, brought his mom to the insurrection. But I mean, to me, he's a clear and present danger. But I guess even if you find that much stuff, there's nothing you can charge, Frank?
Here's a message to all the moms out there. If there's a full-grown adult living in your basement, you might want to do some intelligence collection. Just suggesting that. Because it seems to be a theme here.
If he has an unnatural interest in zip ties.
Yeah.
Yes.
But can you see how difficult the challenge is for the FBI, the ATF? Yeah. And by the way, let's talk, the ATF has been very visible in both Las Vegas and New Orleans in those cases, right? They are the alcohol, tobacco, firearms, and explosives experts. And we are talking about Trump counselors saying, we need to do away with the ATF. They don't like guns. Let's just do away with it. That's where we're headed.
Here's the one bright spot in the story. I hate to say, but it's just perhaps his own incompetence. He apparently only has 2 fingers on his right hand, so he might not.
A clue. We call that a clue.
That's a clue. Yes.
Might not be that good at the explosives game. Okay, one last one I say for you. A leader of the right-wing militia group Oath Keepers has been exposed as a former homicide detective in the Las Vegas Police Department who was disgraced for advocating race war. According to a new report, the movement was central, of course, to the January 6th insurrection. It has grown and is adding multiple members with law enforcement backgrounds. These disclosures show, once again, police departments aren't taking the threat of extremists in the ranks seriously. Lawrence O'Donnell, of course, caused controversy on the right by saying, military veterans have caused, more violence here than people coming across the border, which is statistically true. He goes back to Tim McVeigh, so Frank, let's talk about that because that's only going to get worse under Trump, whether it's in the military or the police department.
So you don't think Pete Hegseth, as Secretary of Defense, is going to
Oh,
fix
yeah, that should
the
solve that. You're right.
extremist
I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, we're talking about Hegseth as SecDef, and he's got tattoos on him that by some accounts are known white supremacist tattoos, right? Now, he's going to claim they're Christian, and you can have that argument at the Senate Judiciary Committee. But here's the thing. We have a disproportionate number of military and law enforcement veterans, and you just look at January 6 arrests there, who are searching for a cause, and the bad guys are more than likely to recruit them for their cause. And we're not doing enough. Both New Orleans and Las Vegas suspects, veterans.
Yeah.
We're not doing enough to give these folks direction and mission and counter the homegrown extremism problem here. And if we don't do it, they will find a way to act out and find their own purpose. And it's not going to get suppressed under the next administration.
Hey, God help us, everyone. It's a little twist on Tiny Tim.
Sure.
Okay. Frank,
Happy
thanks.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for taking time. I know you've been so busy this week, unfortunately.
Thank you.
All right.
Stay safe.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks,
Okay.
Frank.
Thanks, Frank. 50 minutes after the hour. This board. Hi, good. Yes, I am, bitches. Happy New Year. We're live. 56 minutes after the hour. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse had to reschedule. We were going to have him next hour, but he watches us. Hi. He watches our YouTube.
He might be watching you on his flight right now.
Yeah.
For all we know.
Right, he's in the air, but that's very exciting. I'm a huge fan. Okay, as I am with Frankie Figs, who was fantastic. But by the way, Secretary Mayorkas, to a lot of Frank's points about the terrorism problem.
We have a heightened threat environment, as Director Wray and the Attorney General both articulated, and we've been saying this for quite a number of months. We have not only the persistent threat of foreign terrorism that, of course, created the Department of Homeland Security, but we have adverse nation states, and for the past 10 years we've seen a significant increase in what we term homegrown violent extremism. It is a very difficult threat landscape, and it is why that we as a community, not just the federal government, but state and local officials and residents need to be alert to it and take the precautions necessary to avoid violence from occurring.
Yeah. As Frank Flaguzzi just said, God help us all. Because you know that no one in the Trump administration is ever going to tell you the truth. Nope. They're never going to say we have a right-wing, MAGA extremism problem, which we do.
The successful conclusion of the Sugar Bowl is a powerful example of a response to a tragedy and precautionary measures taken in its wake. We deployed additional personnel. We worked very closely with public officials and law enforcement in New Orleans to make sure the Sugar Bowl proceeded accordingly. We took additional sweeping measures and screening measures. So we took a host of actions to supplement that which already was in place. And we are proceeding accordingly with respect to the state funeral of former President Jimmy Carter, the inauguration of President-elect Trump, and continuing thereon.
All right. Stephanie Miller's show rolls on.
the truth. And the truth is Donald Trump won the election. It was a safe and secure election, as was the one before it. We are not going to overturn the Constitution or attempt to overturn the Constitution like they did in 2020, 2021, to try to get the result that we want. In America, we settle our political differences at the ballot box, not by violence. We will set that standard. We will maintain that standard. And I don't like the results of that, which means we have to go back. We have to do a better job of making the case. We have to do a better job of earning people's support and keeping their support. Going to cheat. We are not going to distort reality. We are not going to resort to things like, stop the steal. Those are theories not grounded in reality, and they undermine the basis of our Constitution, and we are not going to do it. Democrats are here to uphold the Constitution and to help us pursue that more perfect union.
Representative Jason Crow. All right, happy 2025, everybody. Oh, let's start with love. Joanna and Camarillo. Steph, I want to say I'm dealing with financial and job security challenges right now. I'm genuinely scared of what's coming. At 60 years old, I'm in competition with candidates young enough to be my grandkids. However, I am renewing my StephCast membership.
Aw, thank you.
Thank you. Commercial-free StephCast.
That's right.
Right? You can play it anytime you want.
Right.
But however much. $5 a year, something. It's not much. $5 a month.
Yeah, don't say
don't
$5
say
a year.
Month. What?
It's inexpensive, but it's not that
It's very inexpensive.
What do I know? That's a necessity. Oh, thank you, Joanna. Blah, 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 blah. I often look at my photos and videos from Sexy Liberal. I've been lucky enough to attend since the first LA show at the Wadsworth. Oh, wow. Thinking back to the most recent show, I don't remember a time I was so happy and excited for the Dems in the country. I know it didn't go the way it was supposed to, but no one will take away the joy we all experienced together. That's true. Getting to meet Carl, Bob, David, Glenn, John, Tara, and our newest Senator Adam Schiff was an incredible experience I will remember forever. I will always treasure the Harris Walls t-shirt that everyone signed for me. I've made lifelong friendships with Karen, Sue, Kevin in D.C., Betsy, Kimberly in Florida, Mary in Utah, many others. We're going to be each other's lifelines the next 4 years. I know we'll get through it. We did it before. We will do it again. Take care, and I wish you all a restful vacation. Oh, we had it already. Thank you. We had a restful vacation. Please know how incredibly grateful I am and always will be for each and every one of you and the difference you make. And the difference you've made in my life. Thanks, Joanna. You too, us. We're off because the year 2025 is going to be... I don't know. Rocky Mountain Michael, tell us.
Yeah. The Wadsworth, wasn't that the liquor-soaked one?
What's that? Here. Say again?
The Wadsworth, wasn't that the liquor-soaked
yes.
one? Until it wasn't.
Yes, indeed. All right. And then the big finale for Sexy Liberal, you've got to be there either virtually or pay-per-view or be in person at the Warner Theater in D.C. We have JoJo from Jers, Olivia Troy, Harry Dunn, George Conway, and more to come. Very exciting. SexyLiberal.com. All right. Please take it away, Rocky Mountain Mike, the year 2025.
In the year 2025, if democracy can survive, if Steffi's still alive, you may find...
What does he know?
What do you know, Mike?
Your face lit up.
In the year 2025, Trump ain't gonna tell the truth, just more lies. Everything he thinks, do and say is something Elon dreamed of yesterday. In the year 2025, we're up to our neck in all of his jive. You won't have a thing to do but listen to Steph, Karen, and Sue. In the year 2025, you'll feel like your power subsides, but you will pray, wait and see, for a blood clot straight from KFC.
What?
In the year 2025, if terrestrial political left-wing talk radio can't survive, if Steffi's still alive, you may find...
You know something, Steph.
I don't. What do you know? I'm
fine.
I'm fine.
I think that KFC clot is going to get you.
Oh, is that what?
Yeah.
I don't eat Kentucky Fried Chicken. Rodney posted, that was impressive. Rocky Mountain Mike got the phrase terrestrial political left-wing talk radio into a lyric, and sure as Kilimanjaro rises like Olympus above the Serengeti. What?
That was Toto Africa. That was a line from Toto. Yeah, Africa by Toto.
Yeah, we need to have a chat about that song, don't we, white people? Okay.
They cover it in the Yacht Rock documentary that we're asking you to
watch.
watch.
Do they? Fantastic. Yeah. All right. So please get your tickets, sexyliberal.com. I can't believe it's coming up. January 18th, our big Sexy Liberal finale. We literally are getting panel guests added by the second, aren't we?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Speaking of former Republicans, Adam Kinzinger talking to Anderson Cooper.
Oh, why not?
13th, yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Congressman Kinzinger, should President Biden issue pardons for the January 6th committee members, including yourself?
No, I don't want it. Look, here's the
You
thing.
don't want it?
No, because the second a pardon is issued, and look, I understand the theory behind it, because Donald Trump has clearly said he's going to go after everybody. And it's not going to be for the January 6th investigation. What they'll do is they'll weaponize other investigations. They'll look into everything and start an investigation that'll end up coming to naught, force people to pay money. This happened to Brad Raffensperger in Georgia as he was forced to defend himself. But the second you take a pardon, it looks like you're guilty of something. I'm guilty of nothing besides bringing the truth to the American people and in the process embarrassing Donald Trump.
You know, one of the most important things I think people are doing in the resistance is gathering legal funds and lawyers that will defend these people so they don't go bankrupt. Because, a lot of them are saying, well, there's no evidence. I'm not really worried, like Adam Kinzinger. But
it takes a lot of money to say that.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna. They can try to bankrupt them, humiliate them, just put them through hearings.
He's got the money to cover himself, but not everybody does.
Right, exactly. One more, Kinzinger.
Because for 187 minutes, he sat there and did absolutely nothing and showed how weak and scared he truly was. So, no, I don't want it. And, the bottom line is, if he wants to bring up January 6th again, we've had all this talk about how we're moving on from January 6th. And trust me, Anderson, I would love to. My life has been defined by this for 4 years. But if he wants to bring it back, I will be happily talking about everything the committee did and learned and reembarrassed.
Yeah, I'm so thrilled we're going to have Harry Dunn with us on panel for great. January 18th. Sexy. We've had him on the show once, and he, it just breaks my heart when I, see any of these guys that what do they call it? Somebody described it as not just hand-to-hand hours of hand-to-hand combat, but like medieval hand-to-hand combat. So to try to say, oh, it was a montage yesterday that everybody was playing of Trump going, it was peaceful, it was a day of love, it was a love fest between the Capitol Police and the... It's just, oh my God! Here we're going to continue to whitewash history unless people like us stand up. And Adam Kinzinger, here he is on Colbert.
Bernie Sanders says that he thinks Biden should offer preemptive pardons to a host of different people, including the people in the January 6th committee. I know that you said on CNN that Anderson Cooper asked you point blank, would you take a pardon if offered to you? And your answer was
no.
Why?
No. Because I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Look, if Donald Trump wants to come after me, look, do I want him to come after me? Of course not.
Yeah. One more.
But if he decides to, I'll be twice as much of a pain in his backside because I will, from my cell in jail, continue to remind the American people that this is not the country we live in. This was not the country that the Constitution represents, and I'll continue to call him out. So if that's what my next thing of service is doing it from a jail cell, okay.
Can I have your pardon?
Yeah, you can.
Can I have your pardon?
Yeah, you're not using it.
Right. You're not using it. I can use it.
That's why I think this is going to be an amazing panel in D.C. because Olivia Troy, George Conway, it's all of these, former Republicans, former Trump administration
who've been up close with Trump.
People who had tried to warn America, and it's going to be up to all of us to put this country we love back together somehow, some way. This was chilling. So Trump was on with Hugh Hewitt.
The guy's so nice they named him twice?
Right, right. Hugh Hewitt said, do you think legacy media is bleeding out in real time before us? They just can't help themselves from the violent rhetoric, can they? Trump said, I do. I think they're disrespected. I think they're not taken so seriously. Hewitt said, I think they're bleeding out. I don't think they're going to last your term because I hope you don't deal with them too much. And Trump said, well, I hope we do. I hope they do last. I hope they turn it around. All we want is fair. They're very unfair. Only somebody like me would know because I know the facts. That's going to be his definition of facts or fair is just nice to him, right? I mean, look at all of the outlets. Elon Musk saying, "Oh, we only want positivity now," meaning nothing negative about Herr Twitler, right? And what do you call it? Frank was just talking about Facebook, about Zuckerberg, saying, "Oh yeah, we're no fact checkers now," because they know facts have a well-known liberal bias, so they're going to put out misinformation about God knows what bird flu. Did I tell you that winter vomiting season has started? There's something called winter vomiting virus.
What is winter vomiting virus? Can you fill us in on this?
Is it a new flu?
Just hearing it made me. It was on CNN this morning. Winter vomiting virus has begun. And we've had our first bird flu death.
Mm-hmm. They can't come up with a better name for it?
Huh?
They can't come up with a better name for it?
Yeah, right?
But it's
like we're all going to be that character in South Park. Just I don't.
You mean Stan when he sees Wendy?
I'm sure Dr. Oz will come up with some magic pills to sell us, or magic beans or something. Okay. Here's, did I mention this all comes down to money? Just these bending the knee, obeying in advance. Revealed, Trump donating companies dodged tariffs during his first term. Many Trump critics have been warning that the tariffs, if implemented, will make inflation much worse. Some companies are already raising their prices. However, some companies that donated to Trump's 2016 campaign dodged tariffs during his first term as president. That's what this is all about, right? It always comes down to the almighty dollar. But I tell you what, we will never bend the knee. We will never bend the knee here at the Stephanie Miller Show. We will never obey in advance. Okay.
What if George Soros hands you a bag of cash with a dollar sign on the side?
I will be. No, I'll
or
just
his Medal of Freedom.
I'll just continue to do this, but with better audio and better headphones.
Okay, got it. Better staff too, I'm sure.
Yes, right. Oh,
whew, upgrade.
Yeah,
immediately.
Can you imagine the kind of staff you could
right?
You could actually get a staff
with people that are actually supportive of what I do. That would be just amazing. George, help me. 18 minutes after the hour. This. Hello. Hi.
Hello. I'm so happy to be your last guest of the year.
That's right.
Yes.
Because no one could follow me. That's right, folks.
That's right.
Boom. It's deemed and shut down. That's all. There's no more show.
Listen, I already said you won the internet in hour one with your tweet. If Elon Musk is actually the president and he's paying all of Trump's bills, doesn't that mean Trump is Musk's first lady? And I think that's going to bother him more than calling him President Musk.
That First Lady, Melania, whatever they were. There were so many things. Orange Melania. Look, Donald Trump is a kept man. He is now living in a big house that Elon Musk bought for him. Mm-hmm. You know, he gets everything paid for. And when Elon Musk speaks, and then Trump has to agree with him. I wonder if Trump would be like Melania. We don't see Donald anymore. It's just Elon Musk going forward. I mean, he did buy him that nice house. Elon Musk bought him the White House. That's a nice mansion.
Dean, I keep saying it is just infuriating. It is unprecedented, and yet I mean, it's almost like I keep using the word revolution, but I'm like, are Americans going to stand for this? For the richest man in the world shutting down the government, taking away their Social Security so that he can get. After, by the way, our taxpayer money is what made him rich. He's the biggest socialist welfare queen in the world.
Elon Musk there's nothing. It doesn't impact him if they shut the government down. It doesn't impact him if Social Security ends or Medicare ends. He is the wealthiest man in the world. Why he's so concerned with cutting the federal government, it doesn't make sense, except for if they're not going to end services. They privatize it. Right. And then who gets to get the contracts?
Yeah.
The government contracts to provide the services? We know this. It's the wealthy, the GOP donors. So Elon Musk, like the oligarchs and the robber barons of the 1880s, 1890s, they cannot make enough money. There's not enough. The idea, like how many speedboats you have to water ski behind, I think that was in Wall Street.
Yeah.
Like all of that, it doesn't end. Their appetite for wealth you can't satisfy it.
Dean, it's already
money. It's unreal.
It's already happening. You know what the test case was? Is the post office. Mm-hmm. They put Louis DeJoy in, who was wildly incompetent, to destroy it, and now they have to go, well, now you got to privatize it. I mean, that was the test run for this.
Right. Look, they've already take a step back. People go, oh, Republicans want to privatize Medicare. They've done that. It's called Medicare Advantage.
Thank you.
Now 60% of people on Medicare are on Medicare Advantage provided by health insurance companies, which are filled with wealthy GOP donors. They're going to try a Social Security Advantage, as Thom Hartmann we talked about with Thom. That's the next step, where you're not actually ending the program. You're slowly phasing it out with this private functioning that they can make more money. If they get rid of the post office, people in rural areas, which are generally Republicans, not all, will suffer the most. There's no for-profit company that's going to go up a mountain to deliver a letter, but the post office has to. They're mandated by law to do that. They do universal access, universal delivery, if it's profit or not. A big company that wants to make money, they're never going to deliver. So good luck, folks. You're going to suffer. You're going to lose your checks, your prescription drugs. They're not going to come to your house.
Yeah, and if anything is going to make us go South Korea on their ass, it's Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, going, oh, you'll be fine for 3 weeks over Christmas with no pay, when most of us can't afford a $400 emergency. I mean, he's going to be the one that decides your grandma's getting too much Social Security money that she paid into her whole life.
Hey, you know what, Stephanie, what's been remarkable? Democrats did something they never do. They picked a good message, calling him President Elon Musk over and over, and they stuck to it. And they went on TV, and all the Democrats were saying it. I'm like, what are you, Republicans? This is unbelievable. You guys actually came up with a good message and repeated it. Everyone, from Jayapal to Dan Goldman, everyone on TV, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, President Musk, President Musk, President Musk, the billionaire shutting down our government, oligarch.
And you can tell it's bothering him because they've already had to put a statement saying it doesn't bother him. He doesn't care. They've already had to react to it.
Today, that's right. Today on Fox News, I don't watch Fox News, but I saw a report how Lawrence Jones, their one host, said he talked to Trump yesterday, who said to him right away, I'm not troubled by what they're saying, President Musk. Like, oh, you are so troubled.
Yeah.
You are so being trolled. Because, look, Trump is a Pinot, a president name only. And I wrote about that in October, but I thought it was going to be for the dementia. If he won, his dementia would make him a Pinot. I didn't think it was going to be Musk. It is Musk that's made him a Pinot, a little teeny Pinot. That's what
teeny. E. Jean Carroll already told us, teeny Pinot. Teeny. Okay.
Teeny Pinot, that's right.
Stephanie Miller. Stephanie Miller.
Yeah. What? David in Miami. Hello. Good morning. Hello,
Good
David.
morning, everybody.
Hi.
Yes, but I hope people understand is part of what we saw against Kamala is what we saw in 1984, using the Rainbow Coalition against itself. And it didn't help that a lot of good people like on The View, they were so emphasizing the women's rights that there was no explanation. And here's what's in it for the white men. But there is good news. We can still ask Biden to hire Thom Hartmann as Director of Lessons Learned, if only for a few days. If only
Director of what?
Lessons Learned.
Let us pray.
Oh, Lessons Learned. I'm for that. I'm for Thom Hartmann in charge of everything because he's smarter than
he's very smart.
Every human in the world.
And he'll write a book about it.
In a
minute, he probably just did right now while we're talking about this. Yeah. Okay. Thom Hartmann in charge of just knowing stuff.
The library.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Listen, would you look at the stack of? I'm trying to get to because everybody is. We're still in our fifis about everything. People are scared, right? In the new year, Mark says from my friend Julie, I will always be proud to say I was on the losing side of history on this election. Me too. I will wear that defeat like a badge of honor because when history writes this story, it will celebrate those of us who quote-unquote lost. My heart hurts for the future of my family, friends, young women, LGBTQ, minority communities. He stated to the world that he will be a dictator on day one. Those are his words, not fake news. I guess this is what you wanted. Our country is not garbage. I don't see it like that, but he does. Oh, it will be right until 1 second after noon on January 20th. Yeah. Right. Then it will cease to be a complete disaster, apparently. Right. It's funny how days before November 5th, he was already crying about fake ballots being cast. What happened? What happened? Mm-hmm. Funny how that works. You should educate yourself on Project 2025 and terrorists because it's coming, and if you think grocery and everything you buy now is expensive, just wait. We will see what the next 4 years brings us and what he delivers. For me, 8 years of hearing him speak hate, racism, division, convictions on January 6th. There should be no surprises for any of us who did not vote for him about what comes next. I will keep showing up, keep loving, keep hoping, giving grace, and keep fighting, but most of all, I will keep praying for all of us. Yeah. Yeah, somebody brought up the point. We shall see next time, and we will. Mm-hmm. A Democrat wins the White House. Watch, there'll be a replay of January 6th. Because, as somebody said, they're only patriotic when they win.
That's right.
It will be right back to rigged, stolen election again when a Democrat wins. Yes.
Listener Mark has an explanation for vomiting virus.
Oh, good. Oh, thank you.
He says it's also known as spew flu.
Spew flu. Okay. I like that.
Is it me or just hearing about it make you want to throw up a little bit? Okay.
I think spew flu is a better term.
Yeah, I think so.
Orange Hitler getting inaugurated and winter vomiting disease is here. And the first bird flu death. Hello. This is why I need love. Dave says, Steph, I've been a listener since Air America.
Well,
okay.
Done.
We were never Air America. Yeah. We don't have to explain it again. Okay. Thank you. I'm a dad of an LGBTQ daughter who is 18 and first time away at college. When she called me after the election, she was scared and in a voice no parent ever wants to hear. A piece of me broke. Keep going. We need your voice. And Chris is sometimes right.
It's better than
Does anyone on the show know if there's a Steph Head group in Tampa? There is a Steph Head group virtually everywhere. Like you can, I join the national Steph Head community. How do you do that, Chris? I don't. Somebody just did a Steph Head starter pack on Blue Sky.
I saw that.
Yeah, go get it.
Yeah,
get that.
I have a starter pack on my Blue Sky.
Oh, go, oh, do that one too then. Okay, love you all. By the way, I came from just up the transit in Cheektowaga. From Mama's hometown, up the transit from Lakecourt.
Lackawanna,
Cheektowaga,
and Lackawanna.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
At Lockport, home of the famous locks.
Maybe if Roger in Orlando knows of the Tampa Steph Head group. Hello, Roger.
Hi, I got a suggestion for a T-shirt for you.
Okay.
And it's a twofer. 47 is a convicted F-ELON.
Okay.
F-E-Lon.
Yeah. I get it. Okay.
I like it.
All right. That is another way you can support the Stephanie Miller Cinematic Universe. There's a number of fantastic Resistance T-shirts at StephanieMiller.com, isn't there, Chris?
There are.
All right. 29 minutes after the hour, we roll along on the Stephanie Miller Show.
or tyranny. Today at the United States Capitol, I will perform my constitutional duty as Vice President of the United States to certify the results of the 2024 election. This duty is a sacred obligation, one I will uphold, guided by love of country, loyalty to our Constitution, and my unwavering faith in the American people.
Can we just get that Holly Hunter soundbite? Just okay.
I have this one.
It must be nice to always believe you know better. To always think you're the smartest person in the room.
No, it's awful.
Does that one count? No?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm also that person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I just, wow. The fact that we could have had Kamala Harris. This is why I did my Kamala Harris t-shirt today because, okay. All right. Many people are, they're at what are all the stages? Anger, depression, bargaining, except people are, and sometimes you hop back a couple and then go forward again, days like yesterday. But we did have a feces-free certification of the vote, so that's a step forward for America. There was 0 feces smeared anywhere in the Capitol. There were no Confederate flags.
Small victories.
Yeah. All right. I just thought in honor of a feces-free certification of the vote. Okay, Christina, have we grown up at all in
Not at
2025?
all.
No.
Not at all. No.
Christina in New York City. Hello, Christina.
Hi, I'm so excited to be able to talk to you. I've been listening to you for almost 10 years.
Wow.
First time caller. Long time
When I was
listener,
33.
first time caller. So I wanted to comment that I think the reason that Trump is entertaining the idea of pardoning the J6ers so early in his term is that he has his ready-made militia
Aye.
there for him, which is a scary thought.
So they can
Number
stand
one.
by.
Number two, I wanted to comment,
Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't have much say over local law enforcement, right? Even though but I wanted to say the other thing. I have been interacting with these J6ers and tracking them through X, through some data science programming, as well as talking to them on the Twitter Spaces.
Mm-hmm.
I've tracked over 100 of them, and I'm telling you, they are living in a world of conspiracy theories, undying commitment to Trump.
Yeah.
And they believe every delusion you can imagine. I mean, their whole thing, the reason they're so undying to Trump is they think he will undo the deep state that forced vaccines on them.
Yeah.
That set them up to get convicted. And even when we read back the J6 convictions to them and their statement of facts, their plea bargains, they don't believe it.
Yeah.
It's insane what I've been dealing with. And I just wanted to say, and that's how autocrats rule, right? Is that they get the population to question what's not, what's true and not true, and blend the two.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to say,
by the way,
interactions with J6.
Yeah, but by the way, Christina, thanks for calling, and also that's what they want is you to tune out. They want you to either be depressed, just give up, or just tune out entirely and go, oh, I just I can't anymore. It's too hard, because that's what they hope for.
Yep.
Then they can. By the way, in our new patriarchy, Jody, the guy that calls me a bulimic ditch licker is only writing to Chris now,
right?
Because even though he calls him a
He's
cocksucker, yeah, he doesn't like homos, but at least Chris is a man. So now he writes with complaints about me, the bulimic ditch licker, to the cocksucker over there.
Mm-hmm.
Caulk.
Right. Yes. Pronounce it.
I pronounced it correctly.
English.
Really? Like your
Cock.
Roger Hedgehog bit is better?
Cock.
See? Oh, see? I'm sorry. I always get that wrong. That's Roger Hedgehog. Hawk.
Cock.
Guy in San Diego. Okay. Fine. Is
he still with us?
No.
I don't know.
Who cares?
I don't
The
know.
bit
I'll
still
look
works.
it up. All right.
The bit still works.
All right, I read these because maybe you relate to where some of these peeps are. Terry writes, Steph, it's a difficult time now. I've been taking a break from news, but not from you. That's the important thing. That's the point of all this. You can take a break from anything you need,
news.
but not me.
We're not news.
We just played something that is labeled Yankee Doodle Fart.
Right.
Okay. Your show and your humor is what got me through Trump's last session in office, and we all need your show now. Thank you. On a side note, a bunch of monkeys from a research facility escaped in South Carolina, where I'm currently living. Apparently, it was a bunch of young females who hadn't been experimented on yet. Oh, see, this is where the female revolution's starting, Chris. So, who knew Planet of the Apes is how 2024 would end? You are my star in the darkness, Terry in South Carolina. Aw. Wow.
So many people are tethering their sanity to you.
Yeah,
it's
disturbing. It is disturbing because you guys know how lightly tethered I am to my own. I think that's my public service, really. My service to America is that people, no matter how bad their life is, they're just like, ugh, I'm not that hot mess.
At least I'm not her.
That hot mess in her basement. Ugh. Jill writes, Mama, took a few days. I finally decided to get over my despondency. Good girl. It isn't sustainable. That's the point.
Sustainable. It's just sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Like Cozy Earth.
Yes. I'm resolved to the stupidity of the Trump voter. I have no sympathy for their pain and surprise when he screws them over. I expect the worst. I refuse to be appalled by what he tweets or says and plan to ignore them. I am committed to like-minded people, my family and friends, and to keep them safe. Kamala did everything right. The misogyny and racism meant she couldn't win. I've seen exactly who most of America is, and they care about no one, and I don't care about them. They knew who he was, and they voted for him anyway. Sorry, not sorry. Jill is in a certain... I'm going to say she's in the anger phase still. She's not gotten to bargaining yet. No. All right. And one last one. Colleen. Steph, as a 72-year-old woman, I resent that I will have to spend the next 4 years of my life feeling the stress I felt during Trump's last presidency, waking up every day fearful of what hateful and dangerous things Trump has done or is getting ready to do, rather than the joy, hope, and sense of peace Kamala offered. As a 72-year-old woman, I resent that twice now I have seen the opportunity of having a highly capable, smart female president slip away. I resent that at 72 I may never realize this in my lifetime. I also hurt and fear for those communities who will become even more marginalized and be under even stronger attack. I'm tired, but with the support of the community of caring folks that you've created and support, I will eventually pick myself up and fight on. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you, Colleen. We're doing it. It's all because of y'all's. You are my Damien. It's all for you, Damien. That was dark. But
that was really dark.
Is there any other kind of humor than dark right now? No. Cindy in San Diego. Hello, Cindy. Oh, home of Roger
Hedge.
And he's still with
did
us.
it wrong.
Let's not.
He's still with us.
Let's not do that. Let's not go there.
All right. He was the mayor of San
Good
Diego.
morning.
He's still with us.
Yes.
Oh, boy, don't I remember. And then that awful talk show. Ooh, ooh.
Yeah, right?
Good morning and Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy
it's
New
so
Year.
good to hear you guys nice and live again.
Yes.
I just want to inject one funny little note, if I can, into today.
Yes, please.
You asked us, Stephanie, a few minutes ago how people got through yesterday. I truly had a legitimate excuse. It was truly a no-poop day for me because I had a colonoscopy yesterday.
There you go.
So when I say yesterday was a no-poop day, I tell you what, I didn't think of anything.
Really? How are things down there? Good?
I need to schedule. You know
The
what?
prep is the
Everything
worst.
the results were fine. This was just like, thank you for being 60. Here's your award, colonoscopy.
But
So
God bless
it
you
is
for
what
going
it
through
is.
the
But-
prep, because the prep is the worst.
Someone was like, welcome to being
it is.
welcome
right,
to
Chris?
being old.
Yesterday was nothing.
Yeah.
Sunday night through the Golden Globes. I mean, I was
Every 10 minutes.
I was racetracking to the bathroom, man.
Oh.
And drinking
Cindy,
that
I have
stuff and the Gatorade.
I have a horrible ex-Catholic girl confession. I have not had a colonoscopy. I do the poop in a box thing. The box with legs. I do that one. And I know I should do a real
you can do that in place of a colonoscopy?
Well, no. They usually send you the box first, and then if they see something that they...
Right.
Yeah, then
my
then
box
they call
is,
you in.
And that's usually in
my
between
poop
your-
test results have been spectacular, Cindy. I poop with the little box with legs. I
You
just
still
give it
should
to
get
him, and he takes it.
Real one.
Well, nothing but the best for you, Steph.
That's
but thank
right.
you guys for
Thank you.
everything you do, and I'm looking forward to fighting beside you. I
Thank
bought
you.
my husband a Steph cast so he can listen. We're all set for the new year.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Aw,
Thank you
thanks,
so much.
Cindy. We appreciate it. And congratulations on
Love
your
you
colon.
guys.
All right, goodbye. It's clean as a whistle, her colon. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
When they went up there for my colonoscopy, they saw a couple of things and they snipped them right out.
Did they?
They did.
When they went up there, in that area.
They went up that area, and I was in twilight sleep, so I could see it all.
Yeah, they usually don't knock you completely out.
I'm like, oh,
Okay.
that's interesting.
It doesn't hurt,
No,
Stephanie.
it doesn't hurt.
Okay, all right. I know I shouldn't even say that I
A
haven't
friend
had
of mine's
one.
wife
but
died at 40 years old from colon
I do the
cancer,
poop
so
test
go
every year,
get
and
it.
it's
That doesn't catch everything.
Doesn't.
all right. Fine. So now you'll be able to ask me, what's up your ass?
Exactly.
Nothing. Okay.
Nothing's ever been up your ass.
No.
Well,
that's why
somebody tried and
except for Italy.
Somebody tried in Italy. During college, but that's another story for another day. Okay.
She said no, right? You said no.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah.
I definitely said no.
Yeah, you need to be in the right mood.
Yeah, but
for
Italians are like, no doesn't necessarily mean no.
He understood that I was a Catholic girl, and I said not that before marriage. I'm like, no, not there either. Nothing. None of the holes. Nothing. Okay. Here's something we have to look forward to.
Wow.
You know what? You lead me there. I am the horse, and I drink the water, and then you're like, look at that dumb horse drink the water.
Right. Stupid horse. That's a horse in a hospital.
I'm a horse in a hospital. Okay. Here's something we have to look forward to in 2025. Amazon's putting out a Melania Trump documentary.
And they're spending a fortune on it.
Who cares?
I'm not going to watch it.
Oh, God. John Cooper said, I'd rather stick needles in my eyes than watch the upcoming film about Melania Trump's life, which Melania herself will be executive producing. Oh, so it'll be an unvarnished look at...
Definitely.
Wasn't it directed by Brett Ratner, who has some issues? Like he was kicked out of...
What I just did? I just made myself bleed. I just scratched something on my hand, and I'm bleeding.
Why are you doing that to
oh my
yourself?
God, I have a stigmata. No, stigmata. It's a
from
sign from
here.
God. Maybe Trump's not going to be inaugurated.
Stigmata starts here.
What's happening is that you're falling apart.
There it is.
I have a
she's 43 now.
I have a stigmata on the wrong side. What does that mean?
Remember that part of the substance where her finger like all of a sudden turned old?
Yeah.
That's what's happening to you.
That was really strange
Listen,
film.
Amazon, I will watch the Melania thing on one condition. If you name the documentary The Christmas. The Christmas.
Liberty.
And liberty. Yes,
Liberty.
that's true. She believes in...
Liberty.
No. Which kind?
Individual. Liberty.
Okay. Playing the hits, everybody, in 2025.
You got to.
All right, 40. This is what happens when Senator Whitehouse doesn't show up.
Right. It's all packing peanuts.
46 minutes after the hour. Hi, John. Hi.
Oh, hi. Let's talk about the limp and flaccid Johnson just a little bit before Christmas, shall we? Yeah. Whoa. I hope we have a government for Christmas this year.
Yeah. As only you can put it, this is Christmas, where the GOP demands 1, tax cuts for the wealthiest, 2, reduce benefits for the needy, and 3, keep Christ in Christmas.
How it worked. Looks like Mike Johnson is going to be the first lost job of the Trump administration. I think it's a pretty safe bet right now. We'll be getting a new speaker for Christmas, and I think he deserves it beautifully. Like Kevin McCarthy, like Paul Ryan before him, Mike Johnson is learning exactly what you get for trying to placate and normalize the extremists in your party. So I'm really sorry. I don't feel anything but glee.
Last hour, Joe, was just like, they're the only people in the world that watch the St. Jude's commercial and just go, oh, those losers, them.
Oh, I know. Oh, these guys, please.
Go ahead.
These people chuckle when they read the book of Job. These people, they read the Grapes of Wrath and root for the boll weevil, Stephanie. These are not good people. And they can't run a government. They're good at 2 things, giving money back to their donors and getting power. But once they're in power, they just trash the hotel and leave us with the checkout bill every time.
That's why he wants the debt ceiling raised so we can give more tax cuts to Elon Musk.
It's not just that. They want to do that so they can run the debt up so high, giving more tax cuts to Elon Musk with no cuts, and then turn around and say, well, we're not going to cut Social Security, but we will have to raise the retirement age to 68. That's a cut to Social Security.
Yeah.
Somehow, FDR put their money into your future, and they want it back. And that's what this is all about.
I said this last hour. I smell a revolution, brewing. If some guy that is not from America, some billionaire that bought America, that's going to, take away decide what Social Security benefits you get that you paid for your whole life.
The richest, the most socially uncomfortable man in the world bought our government, and he's shutting it down right before Christmas, and Republicans are following his orders like his last name was Putin. Nothing like a couple of billionaires wreaking havoc on working families right before Christmas. The most useless Congress we've ever had, and they tried to give themselves a pay raise. My God, I almost miss Matt Gaetz, but he's making me way too happy too. Let's not forget Santa brings the Gaetz report, I think later on tonight.
We get a happy ending from the Gaetz report later.
Beautiful.
Yes, you said, welcome to America, where right-wing Christians fight to protect for-profit health care while celebrating the birth of a guy who gave it away for free. Thank you for once again pointing out the hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and listen, I think this horrible murder of this healthcare executive, and let's not kid ourselves, it was an assassination. It was evil. It was cowardly. He shot the guy in the back. We don't like this. But smart Democrats will look at how so many people on the left and the right are united in their disdain for these robber barons in the insurance industry. A smart Democrat is going to capitalize off of this universal outrage and start trying to get us the same kind of healthcare coverage all of our capitalist allies enjoy.
Well, you said it right there, to protect for-profit healthcare. It's just the insanity and absurdity of it in the first place, that we would ever make healthcare for profit. I mean,
they don't help doctors. They don't help patients. All they do is chew up billions of our dollars out of our economy and spit out millions into stock options and bonuses. It's a dirty, rotten business. Everyone likes healthcare. But health insurance, these glorified middlemen, look, I'm not in favor of shooting them. But this guy got shot, and this guy's company has killed more Americans than every serial killer and undocumented immigrant combined.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of media there when he died, because the way they kill people makes a lot of money. And there's no sympathy for them. I don't believe in violence. But capitalize on this, Democrats. Talk about lowering the Medicare age to 50. Just start talking about it.
Yeah. I've mentioned Chris Murphy today. I think he's a great messenger on our side. But you retweeted him. He said, remember what this is all about. Trump wants Democrats to agree to raise the debt ceiling so he can pass his massive corporate and billionaire tax cuts without a problem. Shorter version, tax cuts for billionaires or the government shuts down for Christmas. Yep. I mean, and this is a month before they're even in, John. And this is what this looks like.
I mean, this I got to watch my language. This S show isn't even have an opening date until January 20th. And is there anything more quintessentially American than inaugurating a racist on MLK's birthday?
Stephanie Miller.
Yeah. What? It is the Stephanie Miller Show.
We're weird.
Did you think we're only going to get weirder? This hasn't even started. Can you believe this hasn't started yet? His actual.
I know.
Oh boy. I mean, who knows what the President Musk administration is going to be like? Is that still bothering him? According to Maggie Haberman of the New York Times, President Musk, does that bother him that we're all living in Elon Town? Does that bother him? I don't know.
Well, we're living here in Elon Town, working for an egomaniac clown. And at SpaceX, they're all killing time, building starships and Falcon 9s. Well, our boss, he likes to play Twitter wars. Let all the Nazis back in the front door. And he's Vladimir Putin's big hope, dances with fascism slow, and we're worked to death in Elon Town.
Yay! Rocky Mountain playing the hits, playing the oldies. So can I just say, yesterday this certification, the poop-free certification of the vote.
Yes.
Did you see this back in December? And they're trying to say that Biden is demented. Trump makes dumbfounding claim that Democrats are fighting to get rid of the popular vote. Isn't the other way around? Because obviously, the popular vote has favored Democrats like forever.
Right.
20 years ago was the last time that the
He's confused.
Republican won the popular vote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to get rid of the Electoral College for so many reasons, but Kathy Hochul, the New York governor, talked about it recently. I thought made some great points. She said, I believe we must reflect on whether the time for this particular institution, the Electoral College, has passed. Now recall the Constitution is ratified also contains provision that we consider abhorrent, such as women and people of color being denied the fundamental right in democracy, the right to vote. She just said for the Electoral College, that time has come. Unfairly, less populated states have outsized influence, and in effect, the votes of their residents count more than the residents of a state like New York. To me, that's part of how you get the other half of the country that doesn't vote to vote. A lot of people just feel like their vote doesn't matter.
Right. And that's why.
So they just don't, they don't participate.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but sure, let's trick him if he's dumb enough. Yes. We are trying to get rid of the popular, but that's what it is.
We could totally rabbit
Let's
season
do that
duck
together.
season.
Huh?
We could totally rabbit season duck season.
Yes. We have always said that we should get rid of the Electoral College. Okay. But everyone said they'll never win again if it's the popular vote. So but we really should. It's just such a what's the word, relic.
It was based on slaves.
Yes, thank you.
It's a fusillade of relics.
There you go.
Are you taunting my English?
No, not at all.
He never does
I
that.
praise your English.
Thank you. Greg.
He never does that,
Greg
Stephanie.
in Nevada. Hi, Greg.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I'm going to get serious a little bit, and I hope
no.
I don't ruin the tone of the show.
Okay.
I wanted to give my own response to trying to deal with the depression of this stuff that's happening, these terrible things that are happening. And I find that I have what I call the invasion of the body snatchers file, which is things that are so crazy and bad and that only I seem to notice. And one of them is, my big one these days, is that we have these Trump judges ruling on cases where the defendant appointed them.
Yeah.
And it seems to be no problem for anybody.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
And I know you had the excellent Neil Katyal on your show, and I always listen to what he says.
And you know what?
We're
going to have Senator Whitehouse on. He's been great on just this, just because, we feel like we can't affect change right this second doesn't mean we should stop talking about it, about Supreme Court ethics, about judicial appointments. Yes, Christopher, you're raising a beefy finger.
Judge Aileen Cannon issues order temporarily halting Attorney General Merrick Garland from releasing Special Counsel Jack Smith's final report on Trump criminal cases.
Well, just the documents one. She doesn't have purview over the other.
Not over everything else.
Yeah, the other two, the J6 and the... Don't try to harsh my buzz even more.
Well,
yeah, the documents case, which to me is the most serious, and and by the virtue of the fact that there's documents, it means it was, in many legal analysts' opinion, the strongest.
Come on, DOJ, leak.
No, just release it, Merrick Garland. Oh well, yes, and leak the documents one.
Yeah, leaky.
Leaky, come on, Dr. Leaky. Be Dr. Is there Dr. Leaky? Everybody call the Justice Department today and ask for Dr. Leaky. Dr. Leakey, I found the documents case. All right, hang on. Just trying to get to a couple more. See, look, going back. Because I cried again yesterday, by the way. Every time I see Kamala, it's just, yeah. Kevin said, Mom, I want to say what a great job you did on the show day after the election. I remember you ugly crying the day after Hillary, quote unquote, lost. In 2016, I was expecting more of the same. I wouldn't have blamed you one bit, but you didn't. You played hurt, going on no sleep, and delivered the defiant, I've got no place left to go. I do have no place left to go. And delivered for all of us. You know what? And
I ain't gonna quit. I got nowhere else to go.
Keep up the fight against evil. Kevin in Wisconsin. We will, Kevin. And wherever you are in the process, and if you go back and forth a little bit, that's okay. We got you. We got your back here at Stephanie Miller International and Sons.
Who's your sons?
Clyde. SexyLiberal.com for tickets to the big Sexy Liberal DC extravaganza January 18th, pay-per-view or live in person. See you tomorrow.
In 4 days. There was an old woman